Welcome to the 2018 season of Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV Sports. Tonight we're bringing you the first Ohio game in the 21st annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown, featuring the Mount Healthy Owls taking on the Anderson Redskins from here at newly renovated Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. Hello everyone, I'm Glenn Olson, joined by my partner David Olson. David, as usual for this time of year, both of these teams are coming in having suffered a lot of losses to graduation. Not quite sure what to expect out on the field tonight. New group of players we're going to see.
Yeah, Glenn, as we're going to see here for Anderson, they graduated Jay Volpenheim, who's now at Tiffin University. The three receivers, Austin Watt, Amadez Jones, and Kyle Blaha, who combined for 22 TDs last season, also graduated. Taking the reins for the Redskins we'll be expecting to see junior David Thompson, who's 6'3" and 185 pounds. But they do return Joey Newton, a wide receiver, last year who had 24 catches for 453 yards, averaging around 19 yards a catch with a season long of 67, and had 5 TD catches, and he'll be expecting to build on that last season, Glenn.
One thing we've learned is the Anderson Redskins typically reload. They really don't go through a rebuilding process. I'm sure we're going to see some high-powered offense here tonight. Mount Healthy Owls, on the other hand, have struggled the last couple of years in the Southwest Ohio Conference, the SWAC, if you will, after dominating it in the early years of its inception. But Coach Arby Crouch is getting a key piece of the puzzle back he was counting on last year.
Yeah, Glenn, Michael Crawford, who got injured early last year, will be back and will be taking the reins. Coach Crouch is expecting big things from his offense this year with Crawford back in control of the offense and a talented group of skill players to assist him.
Now, defensively, the Owls have some weapons as well, and they've got a couple guys who are really going to stand out on the field and all season tonight if they stay healthy.
Yeah, Glenn, we're going to talk about two. First, we're going to talk about Lonnie Phelps, and then we're going to talk about Alex Howard. Phelps, who was verbally committed to Miami University, had 10 sacks and 4 forced fumbles last season.
And they got another guy at a different position that's going to wreak some havoc out on the field as well.
Alex Howard from Mount Healthy is going to be very tough. He had 67 tackles last year on top of 6 sacks. He's very sought after in the college ranks with 6 scholarship offers currently.
Redskins are going to be pretty loaded on offense. The Owls are going to be pretty loaded on defense, but who's going to contain those two guys on the Mount Healthy defense you just talked about?
The man who's going to contain them is Zeke Carell. He's listed at 6'4" and 285 pounds. He's verbally committed to Brian Kelly and the Fighting Irish up at Notre Dame. He will be a big key in how successful this revamped Anderson offense will be tonight.
Well, we're excited to get the 2018 football season underway with you here on Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Wow, what a snap. Upstairs. Back to throw. He just kind of slings one out there. It's picked off.
He'll draw up the middle. He's got room.
5. Touchdown. Time, no pressure. He's going to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Milford Eagles.
Johnny Hill over the middle. He's got Mancini Jackson over Mancini into the end zone. Mancini.
Welcome back to the kickoff edition of Friday Night Football on ICRC. Glenn Olson and David Olson with you from the press box here at Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium, the recently renovated Viking Stadium, if you will. New bleachers on both sets, or both sides of the field, as well as a brand new press box for us to bring you all the action this season. David, both teams have taken the field. We're just about ready to get this 2018 season underway.
Yeah, Glenn, thank you. I'm very excited to be back here up in the press box for a new season. We're looking at 2 very competitive teams after last year. Anderson obviously had a very loaded team, but they're looking to reload, and Mount Healthy's always been very competitive with Coach Arby Crouch. So it's an honor to be back, Glenn, and I'm very excited to get this season kicked off.
This is, of course, a neutral site game being played here at Princeton High School. Anderson from the ECC on the east side of town, Mount Healthy from the central west part of town, I guess you could say. So meeting sort of in the middle here off Chester Road here at the beautiful campus, these athletic facilities at Princeton High School. Last year, Mount Healthy finished at 4-2 in the SWAC, 4-6 overall. Second straight year that Coach Crouch's Owls did not make the playoffs. Anderson was a 3-way champion with Milford and West Claremont in the ECC. Went on to beat Troy in the first round of the playoffs 33-0 before bowing out to Winton Woods, state semifinalist, 55-21. Willie Johnson's teeing up the ball for Anderson. The Redskins did win the toss and elect 2 to first. They'll be kicking off to the Mount Healthy Owls, give Coach Krauts a chance to get his deadly weapons out on the field, so to speak, on offense for this Owls team looking to bounce back from last year's struggles, as I just mentioned. Beautiful night here at Princeton High School, and we are just about to get this 2018 Ohio high school football season underway. And here we go. It's a nice high kick right down the middle, and just like that, whistles blow. So special teams there right off the bat.
It's not the way you want to start the season, Glenn.
Definitely not. No special teams penalties. I don't see a flag, so I'm not sure if the referees didn't blow the ball into play or what the holdup is here. It doesn't look like the officials were ready. We're going to tee it back up at Anderson's own 40-yard line. Well, the Redskins and Owls were just as excited as we are to get things underway. And we'll try it again.
Is everyone set this time?
See if Johnson can put just as good of a kick in the air this time. The last one was pretty good. And he does. Decent kicks. Going to be fielded at the 6-yard line. It's going to be met with contact immediately at the 20-yard line and pushed back a couple yards. And a fumble right off the bat. Coming up with the fumble for the Redskins, Jimmy O'Toole, the senior linebacker. So big things happening already for the Redskins, and a short field to work with on their first offensive possession.
I think they might have called the play dead, Glenn, so Mount Healthy will retain the ball. But Jimmy O'Toole bringing some energy and bringing some hype to the Anderson sideline here early on in the first quarter.
Mount Healthy will get their first crack on offense, taking the snaps for the Owls. Number 7, Brandon Lanier. He was the quarterback last year as well in place of Michael Crawford, whose season ended early. That was Brandon Lanier in the backfield. Michael Crawford was indeed under center, excuse me.
Early season Jimmy O'Toole again there on the tackle for the Anderson Redskins. So he's coming out and he's excited and he's trying to hype up this Anderson sideline, get a quick stop and get his offense back out on the field.
Gain of 3 yards for the Owls. 2nd and 7. Keeper. Crawford's going to keep it himself. Has a block out on the right side. It's going to scamper out of bounds near the 40-yard lines, but there is a flag, pair of flags thrown back around the 30. I'm thinking it's going to be a hold on Mount Healthy.
That was number 8, Zach Caldwell, the junior, forcing Crawford out there before the penalty.
I think he held that block pretty good, so he kind of wondered if there was going to be a holding call, which indeed there is. So promising start for the unhealthy Owls. Gets derailed momentarily by a penalty. Brings up 2nd and 8 now for the Owls. Crawford goes under center. Going to be a sweep. But good penetration by the offensive line. Reversing fields for Mount Healthy is Jamal Kelly. Cuts back over to his right and will be tackled inbounds. The clock will continue to run. It's brought down around the 28-yard line.
Ethan Hamilton, the defensive back, senior, with the initial pressure for the Anderson Redskins before letting loose 3rd and about 2.
Gonna spot the ball at the 27.
It'll be 3rd down and 3.
3rd and 3 officially. See if Mount Healthy elects to go power up the middle. They do. It'll be a first down for the Owls, so they recover from the penalty nicely. Ball's advanced out just past the 30-yard line, just shy of the 31.
That
was Brandon Lanier on the carry again. And Glenn, that's what you like to see from an offense really when you're trying to run the ball. He's just hard-nosed football, take it right up the gut, get the first down, and reset the chains.
Brandon Lanier had a great year last year, filling in for Michael Crawford after the injury. So you know you're expecting to see him have an impact in this game, and he is here in the early going. Hand off again. Going to be good for about 2 yards.
Matt Dunlap, number 32 of Anderson with the initial contact.
Stop by 32,
Forward
Matt
the Reds.
Dunlap. Gain of 2.
Mount Healthy's going to
Yeah, we're fine.
stay with the ground game or try to test this Anderson defense. Crawford makes his adjustments at the line. He's going to keep it himself, looking for a hole on the right side. Finds one, darts through. Will pick up about 4 yards.
On the option keeper. Hit first by 15.
Crawford bouncing back nicely from that injury last year. Sidelined his season after 1 game.
And it looks like Crawford lost his helmet, so he might have to sit out a play.
Officials timeout. Looks like he will stay out. They're not motioning him off the field at this point. They look over to their sideline, the far sideline here at Pat Mancuso Field to get the offensive signals, get the play call signaled in.
That was number 15, Connor Braunhaver, who Crawford was locked up with there on that last play. As we've got 3rd and about 4.
Now we have a penalty flag, false start on Mount Healthy. So some of those early season confusion types of penalties rearing their head here in the early going for the Owls. Hold early, and now an inadvertent false start.
It's now 3rd down and 8.
So it's going to make it 3rd and 8. So what was a manageable 3rd and 2 now becomes a little bit of a tougher task at 3rd and 8. The Owls need to get out to their own 41-yard line to get the first down.
Timeout.
Now Mount Healthy will take a timeout to get things together offensively after that penalty, David.
Yeah, Glenn, you know, you really don't want to burn a timeout this early on in the first quarter, but Coach Crouch obviously is seeing something that he didn't like, so he's bringing the offense over just to kind of settle those first game jitters. And the Anderson defense is still very hyped, and they're still trying to bring the pressure here on 3rd and long. So it's going to be interesting to see what both sides decide to do on this next play.
Well, you come to expect some confusion early in the season, even though you've been practicing since July 31st, I believe the date was, here in Ohio this year. But once you get out in live game action with crowd in the stands, officials on the field, just a different vibe, and you expect there to be a little bit of confusion. So Coach Crouch is going to take a timeout early and try to get his offense on the same page over there. Good turnout from both fan bases meeting here at this neutral site at Princeton High School. Pretty warm summer day, but it's going to begin to cool off as the sun sets off in the distance. Great football weather. Good to be back with you. Friday night football on ICRC.
Mount Healthy, the ball on the Owls, 33.
Okay, 3rd and 8, just under 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Seeing the shotgun for the first time tonight from the Mount Healthy Owls, Glenn.
2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom, and another flag and another false start on Mount Healthy. That'll drive a coach's blood pressure up when you have a false start or a penalty coming out after a timeout.
Looks like the penalty was on number 55, Anthony Jackson. He seemed to be looking over at the sideline in confusion to see what he did wrong.
3rd and 13.
3rd and long again for the Mount Healthy Owls, and they're going to stick in that shotgun formation, Glenn.
Yeah, 3rd and 13, different play call comes in this time. 1 receiver to the top, trips to the bottom. Big Brandon Lanier back in the outfield. Crawford rolls out to his left, finds traffic, comes back to his right, and is tripped up right just about the 32-yard line. So a lot of running to gain just a yard. And the first Mount Healthy offensive possession, unfortunately for them, sputters. They'll bring out the special teams unit.
That was number 54, Wheeldon Layton, who finished off that play for the Anderson Redskins.
So Joey Newton is back deep to receive.
99.
Looks like it's going to be 99 Daniel Jimenez, sophomore. His jersey's kind of bunched up there. From our vantage point up here in the press box. Kick things away. Good snap. Good protection on the line. A low punt. Newton fields it at the 32. Gets away from one defender, but rolls right into another one. It'll be brought down at the 41-yard line. So after the false starts and penalties plague the Owls, Anderson gets their first offensive possession underway. Pretty good field position. They'll take over at the 41-yard line.
Devon Hingston, number 51, the junior from Mount Healthy, tackling Newton. But as Glenn said, great field position as they're starting, as Anderson starts on their own 40-yard line, and they're coming to attack, Glenn. We got trips to the bottom of the screen and 2 wide receivers to the top.
David Thompson in at quarterback, as was expected. A little bit of a low snap. He's going to toss a screen out to his right, but it's going to be broken up by Mount Healthy's number 24, Javante Montgomery, the senior defensive back.
Pass intended for Bennett Snyder on the little bubble screen there, Glenn, but good play call. As we saw last year, Anderson's definitely not afraid to throw the ball, so we're going to see that a lot from the Redskins tonight.
Thompson takes a snap. It's going to be a handoff. Good hole opens up the middle, across midfield, 40, and he's pushed down inside the 40-yard line. He's going to be marked down at the 36-yard line. So we've just been singing the praises of the passing game, and a nice run gets a bunch of yards for the Redskins.
And that's Sean Harkness finishing off that play and potentially saving a touchdown for the Mount Healthy Owls as Anderson gets to the line quick, and they're going to run right again.
Ooh,
that was an awkward angle, Glenn.
Owls were ready for that one.
Alex Howard, who we mentioned in the pregame, with the initial contact and going low on the running back for the Anderson Redskins.
Redskins going tempo here, not giving Mount Healthy much of a chance to catch their bearings. Thompson rolls out to his right, long pass, lets it fly, has a receiver, but just overshot Joey Newton, who was streaking down the right sideline toward the end zone.
Glenn, it kind of looked like Newton stopped to look back for the ball, as it was kind of like he just didn't know where it was after it left the hands of the quarterback.
And perhaps some of those early season issues. You're facing an opponent for the first time. I know these teams do scrimmage and do 7-on-7 work in the offseason, but again, the first real game atmosphere, and there's another penalty on the Owls. So 3 penalties on Mount Healthy here, not even in the first 5 minutes of this game.
So you're 3rd and long, and now you've got 3rd and manageable for the Redskins. Mount Healthy has to figure something out with these penalties. They got to limit them. I understand that's the first game of the year, but you got to limit your penalties, Glenn.
Well, that one was just offsides. Good handoff up the middle, struggling to get up to the line of scrimmage. A little bit of extracurricular activity down between the offensive and defensive line. Pushed to the face mask. The referees let go. It's going to be fourth and a long 3 from our vantage point. Thompson tries to fool him with the hard count. Owls don't fall for it this time. Takes a snap. Oh, it's going to be reversed, but blown up in the backfield. What a play.
And guess who, Glenn? Number 40, Alex Howard, 6'2" senior.
There's a reason, and he's on all those watch lists here in town and has multiple scholarship offers. Good play call by the Redskins, but you've got to be able to contain that defender, especially when he's that good.
Howard was ready to come back out on the field, but I think he would have been the 12th man, and that would have been another unneeded penalty for Mount Healthy Owls.
Don't want to have that happen. Still some offensive confusion on who's supposed to be out there.
We got 10 seconds on the play clock.
And jogging out onto the field was Deshaunte Williams. He's going to take that receiver position at the bottom of your screen, but there's a handoff up the middle. Lanier, boy, he's a load to bring down. He's going to be close to a first down. Yep, there's the indication from the official to move him. So a 10-yard run.
10 yards, good for a first down, Mount Healthy.
Boy, great start here if you're a Brandon Lanier fan. After subbing in a quarterback last year, we interviewed him on our Gridiron Report show last year. He's really grown a lot, obviously, as he continues to mature physically, put on muscle as he trains. It's going to be a load for this Redskin defense to bring down tonight. You see why just there. He pummels through the first line of defense, gets into the second line, and crosses midfield. The Owls are into Redskins territory for the first time tonight.
He's running the ball really well, Glenn. You know, that's hard-nosed football. He's just putting his head down, getting 3 to 4 yards of carry. And I mean, if you're Coach Crouch right now, you can't complain about that. Once the penalties stop and if they can maybe get Anderson to bite on a play action or something and find someone open deep, we could see a Mount Healthy score.
Crawford goes under center, fakes a handoff, keeps it himself, looking for the corner out on the right side. The Anderson defense is there, though, and he's going to be brought down the 46-yard line.
Stop by 15, Connor Braunhaber.
Number 15, Connor Braunhaber again with the tackle for the Redskins.
Unhealthy again. Just a little bit of a delay trying to get the play call in. It's 3rd and 2. Just wonder if Mount Healthy can't get these communication issues resolved. They don't go a little bit of tempo. There's the big load up the middle. Lanier gets 2 yards and then some. He's going to be tackled just shy of the 40-yard line. So another first down for the Owls. As far as this offense resting on the shoulders of Michael Crawford and Brandon Lanier.
That play gained 6
Yeah,
yards.
Glenn,
If
if they're going to keep this running game up, they've got to, I mean, if it's working, let it work. But if they could get Anderson to bite on a play action or just another misdirection, that, I mean, it could end up in 6 for Mount Healthy if they play their cards right.
Well, you know it's coming at some point, but keep piling Lanier up there to try to soften up that defense, I suspect, is the goal. There's a fake handoff to Lanier. The ball ends up over on the far side or the top of your screen. Ball carrier's forced out of bounds about the 38-yard line.
Gain of 2.
So that makes it up a little bit. You think it's going to be all Lanier and then send somebody else to the top.
James Camden from Anderson forcing that player from Mount Healthy out. 2nd and 7.
Crawford calls out signals to his offensive teammates. Man goes in motion. They're going to go for fake to Lanier. Crawford keeps it. He's going to get just shy of the first down at the 30-yard line. Maybe a half-yard shy.
Matt Dunlap from Anderson saving
Gain of 7 yards.
Crawford from getting a first down from Mount Healthy as we've got 3rd and short.
It's
Crawford hasn't missed
down
much.
and 1.
He recovered from that injury last year. He stepped right back in. It's great read option, hanging on to that ball, electing to keep it. Crawford goes back under center. Again, man in motion. Lanier is going to take the football this time and advance it across the 30 for the first down.
Brandon Lanier at left guard.
So a fresh set of downs
First by 9, Jacob
for the
Loeffler.
Owls. Things clicking in the running game for Mount Healthy.
That play gains 2 yards.
Clock stops
Gives
at
the
4:01
first
while
down,
the chains are
Mount Healthy.
moved.
Leighton Wielden from Anderson on another tackle there. As Mount Healthy looks to Coach Crouch to get their signals. Got a new first down from from Anderson's 29.
Crawford fakes to Lanier, keeps it. Again, looks for that corner on the top side, and he's going to be brought down at the 25-yard line.
Michael Crawford on the option keeper.
Lanier doing a really good job of getting to that corner. You can see on the replay right here. Tried to stiff arm the first defender, but somebody came in low on him.
Zach Caldwell. Gain of 5, gain of 4.
You know, Glenn, you don't see this formation a lot in high school football. A quarterback under center and your running back, and as in Lanier, who's in a 3-point stance, not very far behind.
Go with what works, right? Now the Redskins starting to catch on. Lanier stood up at the line of scrimmage for no gain that time.
Kevin Stone,
Stop by
number
96,
72 from
Stephen
Anderson,
Lamberton.
wrapping up big old Brandon Lanier on that play.
No gain.
So a 3rd and long
It's down
situation, 3rd and
down
6.
and
We'll see if
6.
the Owls dip into the playbook for a pass call here now that the Redskins are starting to recognize those running plays with Lanier and Crawford. Nope, right back to Lanier, who has a hole. Works his way inside the 20-yard line and will be
Brandon
brought
Lanier
down
Stop
at
by
the
5,
18.
From 17, James Camden.
Another first down for the Owls. They're going to put their trust in Lanier and Crawford at this point, David.
Absolutely. I mean,
Gain of
they've
8
carried them
yards.
this
Good
far,
for
and
first
they've
down,
had a pretty
Mount
clean
Healthy.
drive as it is, and I think Anderson's just having a hard time reading if Crawford's going to keep on the read option or if they're going to give to Lanier, and I think we're going to get a timeout from Anderson.
Yep, Anderson
The
is going to
Redskins
take a
first down in the
timeout
first half.
now that Mount Healthy Owls have entered the red zone. And so far, Anderson having a little bit of time slowing down this Mount Healthy running game.
Yeah, you know, Brandon Lanier, as we talked about, he's just a big guy, and you can't arm tackle big guys like that. You got to have a full form tackle, Glenn. You know, get the shoulder pad low. You know, get him at his feet, because I mean that's what's going to keep him driving. So they gotta talk in this huddle here, Glenn, while they've got a timeout, just to figure out what to do on these read options. If they're going to bring in a defensive back just to watch those read options and contain them, as like a quarterback contained. But I don't know, it's been tough just because of Lanier. Once he gets the ball, he's getting out 3 or 4 yards and just putting it in.
The interesting thing for me to watch is how Mount Healthy has responded from those penalties early in the game. A lot of times teams will hang their head and get a little frustrated and lose their focus when you have the early penalties like that. But Mount Healthy obviously has bounced back pretty well offensively, getting the ball down into the red zone. 2:17 remaining in the opening quarter here from Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. Redskins retake the field after the timeout they called. Each team has burnt a timeout here in the first quarter. Mount Healthy looking over for adjustments based on what they're reading from the Anderson defense. Crawford keeps it and is brought down for a loss back at the 20-yard line, so that's going to be a loss of just about 2 yards. A nice adjustment made during that timeout by the Anderson defense.
As you just saw in the replay, Matt Dunlap, number 96, Stephen Lamborine. Just great reads by both defensive players there, Glenn, to stop Crawford and get a loss and hopefully figure out this run game.
Under 2 minutes now, approaching the 150 mark. Crawford under center. Hands it off to Lanier. Bullies his way back up to the 15-yard line, just shy of the 15.
Hit first by 98, Crawford.
So it should set up them needing about 6 yards for a first down. Maybe 7 based on the spot.
We just saw in that replay, Glenn, just arm tackles, and with Lanier being listed at 6'3", 220, you can't just arm tackle guys like that. You know, he's a junior, so he's still developing, but he still knows what it's like to play at the varsity level. And it's tough to bring him down, as we're going to see on 3rd and long, if they're going to keep relying to him.
Scoreboard has it at 3rd and 8. A little bit of trickeration. Somebody new is going to handle the ball this time. That's Kelly, Jamal Kelly, for the Owls.
Kelly at left end, cut down by 10, Ethan Hamilton.
Not a healthy offensive staff trying to see if the Redskins are paying attention, put the ball in somebody else's hands.
Looks like we've got an injury.
Gain of 5 on the last
to
play.
Mount Healthy, number 78, Kobe Tamoye.
And this offensive line has been doing a great job. He's a senior listed at 6'2", 260. You don't want to lose a piece like that on your offensive line early in the season, especially when your running game is working as well as it is right now.
Looks like he's going to walk off on his own power. Glenn might have just got rolled up there on the end of that play.
Yeah, it's not limping too bad, so I suspect we'll see him back. I guess the good news for the Owls is when Crawford's handling the ball, he normally goes to the top, which is the right side of the formation.
Right.
So run away from that substitute for now so they can get back to full strength in the next play, assuming he's able to come back in. Clock frozen at 52 seconds for the injury timeout. Mount Healthy huddled up over on the sideline with their coaching staff. The Redskins back out on the field, trying to stop this Owls offensive threat in the red zone. The ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line of the Redskins.
It's 4th down and 2.
Big 4th down, 4th and 2 for the Owls. Come a long way. Sure, they would hate to walk away empty-handed after chewing up a lot of clock on a nice long offensive drive. Crawford trying to get the Redskins to jump with a hard count. They're not falling for it. He's going to look back over to the sideline for an adjustment. Good discipline by the Redskins D. Anderson fans getting a little bit restless when he Mount Healthy to get this play off.
Lanier
barrels his way to the end zone. Mount Healthy touchdown. Some of the confusion was the play clock being reset through the ire of the Anderson faithful. But who else after carrying the bulk of the load to score the first touchdown for the Owls but Brandon Lanier?
Absolutely, Glenn. It was a great play call. Lanier finds a hole, and he just drags number 6 with him. Evan Upchurch drags him with him to the end zone to get Mount Healthy their first points of the 2018-2019 campaign, Glenn.
It's Daniel Jimenez, number 99. And for the point after try, good snap.
Looks like he missed it right.
Yep, and indeed he does. Jimenez not listed on the roster as a kicker. There's only one other kicker listed. That's Isaiah Sosa, number 87. Not sure of his status, but makes you wonder moving forward if the Owls won't go for 2 if they're able to score again, rather than try to kick the point after. William Johnson. Okay. Correction. Thank you. So it is William Johnson. The rosters are always a little bit in a state of flux early in the year as positions change and uniform numbers change.
Yeah, kids graduating and, even changes in the athletic office, they've not had to worry about rosters for how many months now, so it's all good as Mount Healthy gets ready to kick off. Anderson's got 2 men deep. 32 seconds left here in the first quarter, Glenn, is a low-scoring affair so far.
Mount Healthy back deep for Anderson, 1, Joey Newton, and 10, Ethan Hamilton.
Well, it will be interesting to see how quickly the Redskins choose to attack on offense. Mount Healthy took up a bunch of time on that drive. First quarter, just 32 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Nice high kick down the middle. Going to take a bounce around the 20 before being picked up. And there's a big hole up the middle, and David said, there goes Joey Newton.
Jamal Kelly's the only man that can catch him and gives up.
He won't. Wow. So we don't have to worry about the Redskins offense attacking quickly. They get it done on special teams. Well, you just saw that hole open up, and you wondered if anybody was going to be able to close the gap and catch him. And obviously the answer is no. We have a tie game, 6-all. Anderson's coming out to attempt their point after try, hoping for a little better luck than the Owls had. A little bit of a special teams problem there for the Owls.
We knew Joey Newton was going to be someone to watch, Glenn, as we targeted him in the pregame, and I think as we're seeing, we're going for 2.
We're going to go for 2. Yeah, Johnson went out onto the field and was brought back off, so the Redskins will line up and go for 2 on their point after try.
Wide open.
Yeah, and obviously Mount Healthy wasn't ready for that at all.
That was number 12, Jackson Coons.
He's a sophomore, backup quarterback. So Anderson Redskins, without taking much time off the clock at all, a total of 14 seconds, take a lead in this game, 8-6.
So we'll see if the defense can stop Jamal Hines and, Brandon Lanier, and the running game that Mount Healthy provides.
Well, it's the beauty of the high school game sometimes, how quickly the fortunes can turn, especially early in the season. Just a fantastic return by Newton after a long clock-chewing drive by Mount Healthy. See what Mount Healthy does in the next offensive possession here. Fortunately for them, it's only the first quarter and not heading into halftime. They may get a chance to answer. Downside for the Anderson defense is they were out on that field for a long time. Now they're right back out there.
Right, exactly. Those big boys on the defensive line just barely got enough time to get a water.
Kick is fielded back inside the 5-yard line by number 10, Demarius Shaw. He's a junior. Zigzags all over the field and ultimately is brought down shy of the 20, back around the 19-yard line.
It's by number 17, James Camden. He finished off the play after number 10 Ethan Hamilton had the initial contact for the Anderson Redskins.
8-6, just 6 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. Glenn Olson and David Olson here with you. Our opening night, Friday Night Football on ICRC. Special Thursday edition.
Just a calm before the real storm tomorrow, Glenn, is 7 o'clock tomorrow. A bunch of schools around the Cincinnati area will be kicking off for the first time. St. X and Lakota West down at Paul Brown Stadium. Should be a fun affair. And Milford versus Princeton back here at Pat Mancuso Field.
Yeah, ICRC will be out to cover that game tomorrow night. The Eagles and the Vikings hook up in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. It's back to Jamal Kelly. Finds a hole by cutting back over, and he's going to advance the ball out to the 40-yard line.
Jamal Kelly at left end.
A nice change of pace by the Owls there, but there is a flag down in the backfield, back inside the 20-yard line. That's probably going to bring this one back.
It's Matt Dunlap who's coming off the field, who lost his helmet on that play.
And there's a hold against Mount Healthy, so the old penalty bug in the end zone they're defending surfaces again. So it's going to wipe out a nice series opening run by Jamal Kelly. The Owls facing some adversity here early in the game. Quarter can't end on a penalty, so it'll be an untimed down. 0-0 showing on the clock.
Trips to the top of the screen for Mount Healthy, one wide receiver to the bottom and a running back in the backfield.
Crawford, yep, hole up the middle, sidesteps one defender, bullies his way out shy of the 25-yard line. He's going to be spotted down at the 24. Nice recovery from that penalty for the Owls on the run by Crawford. Now that's the end of the first quarter. They'll change ends of the field. The end of the first quarter. It's the Anderson Redskins 8, Mount Healthy Owls 6.
Diabetes. Ah, no, mire, doctor, yo no tengo tiempo ni de comer bien ni de hacer ejercicio. Yo soy una mamá muy ocupada.
Ay, pero ¿por qué no me lo dijo usted antes?
¿Cómo?
Claro, porque las mamás muy ocupadas como usted no pueden tener prediabetes. Permítame enseñarle. Aquí están las personas en riesgo de tener prediabetes y aquí, al final, mire, las mamás ocupadas como usted.
¿En serio?
No.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back for the second quarter kickoff edition of Friday Night Football on ICRC. Mount Healthy Owls taking on the Anderson Redskins. Mount Healthy with the football. The end of the first quarter, getting things started here on the second. They're going to go back to Jamal Kelly.
Fumble!
Loose on the ground. It looks like a Mount Healthy lineman fell out of it. Nope, the Redskins are saying they got it. The officials give the indication. And you thought maybe the change of field position going the other way might turn that penalty flag into 6 points for the Owls. But after what looked like a nice run,
With
the
the ball
ball
on the
comes loose.
Mount
and Anderson
25.
with great field position. Going to have the ball to not help you out, 25-yard line.
That was Jimmy O'Toole, number 5, who we've seen very active tonight for the Anderson Redskins defense. And he's been trying to strip that ball away all night, and he finally got one, Glenn, and giving his offense great field position as Anderson's coming out, trips to the top. The top of your screen, 2 wide receivers to the bottom. As number 12, Jackson Coons in at quarterback right now for the Redskins.
3 to the top, 2 to the bottom, as David said. 2 with the empty backfield. Great field position. Ball's on the 25-yard line. A little bit of a low snap. He recovers nicely, but here comes some pressure and a huge sack that time. Mount Healthy's number 47, Lonnie Phelps Jr. We talked about him in the pregame as well. He shows you why he's a verbal commit to Miami.
Woo!
Loss of 10 yards.
I think I see why they call it Truck Stick Thursday, Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely brought it there. Wow.
Welcome to the varsity field.
Big loss.
The ball now back at the 35-yard line. Ooh,
he's wide open.
Yep. A little bit of trickeration, and there's a touchdown for Anderson. The team takes a lick on one play, but they come right back. Option pass out. Uncovered receiver to the end zone for a touchdown. Great play call by the Anderson Redskins offensive staff.
Number 2, Eric Curlis on the receiving end of that touchdown for the Redskins. And just after you said, Glenn, after a bad play, they go deep, and he had wide open space.
Anderson offense strikes quickly.
Willie Johnson to attempt the point after.
Willie Johnson in the kick. Number 1, Joey Newton in the hold. Flag on the play.
Good thing there.
Extra point attempt is no good.
Low line drive kick.
Laundry on both sides of the field.
Offsetting fouls give the Redskins another opportunity for the point after try.
Penalty is a legal formation against Anderson. Point after attempt is no good.
Nope.
So with 11:15 to go in the first half, it's
Redskins,
Anderson
Mount
14,
Healthy
Mount
declines.
Healthy 6.
So now both teams have missed a point after try, but the Redskins have the lead 14-6.
Skyline Chili is proud to sponsor the nation's premier high school
Go back and take
football
another look at
showcase,
that
the Skyline
touchdown
Chili
by
Crosstown Showdown. Be sure to
Anderson.
cheese
Well,
Tony's
got to
Burger
break
here
in the
tonight's game, or
action.
stop by your
Guys
favorite
in the truck
neighborhood
can
Skyline
cue
after
that
the
up.
game. Feeling good.
Just a great play call after a big sack on the previous play. And there we go.
It's Joey Newton.
Yeah, Newton takes it, throws a bomb. He takes a lick after the play. And there you see an excited Newton. He'll take that lick to score that touchdown. He'll throw that touchdown pass every time. Great play call by the Redskins. Can't say it enough.
He has 2 touchdowns, but no catches.
Take him however you can get him, right?
Exactly. As we mentioned earlier in the game, Glenn, Anderson's not afraid to let the pigskin fly, and as we saw that up there on that drive, Newton, who obviously doesn't normally play quarterback, looked very comfortable on that halfback pass.
Well, I said it in the pregame. You lose a lot of weapons from last year's team for the Redskins, but they've had the knack for reloading and not rebuilding, and it doesn't look like they've missed too much at this point. They've had some young men step up and make some plays for him. Kicks fielded by number 1, Jamal Kelly. Bring it out across the 25-yard line.
Jimmy O'Toole there again for the Anderson Redskins defense.
Same names keep coming up over and over again. O'Toole, Newton, Lanier, Crawford, Phelps, Adams.
Everyone.
Yeah, same names. You know why these kids are, as I said earlier, on these preseason watch lists and up for these various awards and obviously scholarship offers. 11:05 remaining in the second quarter. Unhealthy trying to rebound for giving up the football and giving Anderson a short field. Crawford fooled everybody. He's going to get out for a first down out to the 41-yard line. There's still a lot of blocking and contact in the middle of the field after the fake to Lanier. Crawford darts around to the left. Look at him, goes right, doesn't see much there, cuts back, gets away from one tackle.
Finds a hole and breaks loose. number 8,
Yeah,
Zach Caldwell.
Yeah. Not healthy, going with a little bit of a quicker tempo this time than we saw previously, but unfortunately they're going to lose a half of a yard or so in the process.
96, Stephen Lamriven. No gain.
Crawford, you can tell why the Redskins missed him so much, or why the Owls missed him so much last year after he went down in that injury in the first game. Brandon Lanier, obviously a very capable athlete, but young, I believe he's a sophomore last year, new to that position, and Coach Crouch glad to have Crawford back under center and Lanier in the backfield. You can see why. Kelly goes in motion. Lanier gets the ball and advances it out to the 45, just across the 45.
Wrapped up by 90, Nate Crawford.
We'll set up a 3rd and 7, 3rd and a short 7.
Glenn, you know, we know we've seen Coach Crouch for the past couple of years. And, go back to the David Montgomery days. He's always been a fan of a versatile quarterback, as we're seeing here in Crawford tonight, who can run the ball and who can throw the ball. And David Montgomery, who's now at Iowa State as the running back, but he was Mr. Everything for Mount Healthy back in the day. He was the punter, he was the place kicker, the quarterback, and there goes Crawford.
That looked like a design pass, but Crawford saw his receivers covered in a big hole up the middle, advances the ball all the way over to the 30-yard line of the Redskins. That's about a 30-yard run, Dave.
Yeah, Leighton Wielden finishing off that play, but Crawford does a great job of reading the field. And when he's got open space, he's not afraid to run, and he's not afraid to take a couple of hits. As you said, a 30-yard run, and now they're in Anderson territory again and threatening to score.
Got to give credit to this Mount Healthy offensive line. They've been doing a great job tonight. There's Lanier, again, bullies his way through the defense. That's another first down. And he's in the red zone. He'll be spotted at the 18-yard line.
Now Mount Healthy's picking up the tempo.
And then Lanier continues to get it done for the Owls. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 before he's finally brought down. In case you're curious, Lanier listed at 6'3", 220. He's playing a lot bigger than that right now.
Looks about 6'5" from up here, Glenn, but that's just my
6'5",
opinion.
250 is the way he looks from up here. Crawford tries the left side. Good for about 4 yards.
The option keeper at left end. Hit first by 96,
Yeah,
Stephen
it's
Lamriven.
going to be curious to see the SWAT coaches take note on this game film tonight and this attack that the Owls are presenting this year. Very different than some of the things they've done previously. Some new homework to do.
It looks so awkward in the backfield, Glenn, with Lanier so much taller than Crawford. That's the big complaint with short quarterbacks at the college and the NFL ranks, but Crawford's running the ball well, and Lanier's just bullying people.
There's an option pitch.
Jamal
Kelly broken up the lead.
Brought down by
Number
5, Jimmy
17,
O'Toole.
James Camden for the Redskins. Well, the SWAC is sort of a pass-happy league, but Edgewood has been the king of the hill the last couple of years, and they like to run the football. So
they ran that wishbone-style offense, as we saw them play for the SWAC title against Mount Healthy a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago in the playoff game, at Edgewood. So Coach Crouch and his Owls bringing something a little bit different to the SWAC this year. As I said, give everybody something else to think about. There's timeout number 2 being burnt by the Owls. 7:24 remaining in the second quarter. Coach Crouch wants to make sure the Owls take advantage of this field position. Not let it go to waste. Get everybody on the same page here on a 3rd and 4. Take a look at Mount Healthy's schedule for this year. They've got a GMC game coming up against Sycamore next week. They'll go to their rival Dayton Dunbar before getting into SWAC play. Traveling to Nate Mahan's Little Miami Panthers, Ross Rams, go out of conference for Campbell County. Come back home to J.D. Vonderhyde in Talawanda, Northwest. Then 2 big games on the road at Harrison, at Edgewood. Those look to be intriguing games here in the very early going of this season. Wildcats and the Cougars.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the Cougars played for a SWAC title a couple years ago against the Owls, and if the Owls can can continue to play competitive and get the ball to Crawford, and if they can find ways to beat defenses by running the ball, then I don't see why Mount Healthy wouldn't win the conference.
Coach Crouch likes to schedule strong. They're going to go and take on that GMC team in Sycamore next year. Last year, a rainy game as the remnants of a hurricane moved through town, if memory serves correct. Ooh. Truck Stick Thursday.
Absolutely. It's number 90, Nate Crawford of Anderson, finishing off that tackle there for Anderson. But big hits coming from both sides, Glenn. And I mean, that's what I love to see. Is get that football, get that hard-nosed footballs. We got a short 4th and 1.
4th and less than a yard. So conventional wisdom says you give it to Lanier, but that's what they're expecting. So does Mount Healthy do something different to try to catch the Redskins off guard? They're going to pack that line, though.
Absolutely, but if they're going to do something, they better do it quick. That's number 3, Glenn.
Yeah, that's 3 timeouts now.
Timeout charge to Mount Healthy. It's the Owls.
Not good for the Mount Healthy Owls in terms of trying to get these plays in, get the right personnel in, get everyone on the same sheet of music. Coach Crouch will be, I'm sure, emphasizing that film study tomorrow and getting ready for that game against Sycamore next week. Here you take a look at the Anderson Redskins schedule. They too are taking on a GMC foe next week, hosting Hamilton at home. Then they'll host Harrison from the SWAC, then get into ECC play with a couple of road games at Kings and at Withrow. Big one against Milford at the end of September. They'll go to West Claremont to face the Wolves, Turpin and Walnut Hills at home, and then ending the season against the Loveland Tigers, week 10 in late October. So pretty competitive schedule for the Redskins as well. The ECC wide open this year. A lot of rebuilding going on. Got to think Kings will be back in the mix after not really being in the mix last year.
And that Milford game, I bet that's circled on that Anderson calendar after last year, Glenn. We attended as patrons, and I bet there's something going on there.
They go back to Lanier, and he gets it inside the 2-yard line pretty easily. Good push by the offensive line.
Gain on the play of 6 yards. Good for a first down.
I was just handed from Anderson stats guy. Mount Healthy has run 32 plays this game. Anderson has run 8.
Gotta like that ratio. There's another handoff across that left side. Mount Healthy saying they got it. The officials say it too. Touchdown for the Mount Healthy Owls. And guess who? Number 7, Brandon Lanier, the junior.
So we're going to see on the replay, Glenn, and they bunch the backfield. Lanier, he's a big body. You're not going to stop him one-on-one. He's going to run over you. So we should have seen that coming, as I expect Mount Healthy to go for 2 and go for the tie, but looks like some confusion from the officials. And Coach Crouch, he's about halfway on the field.
There's a penalty flag that we missed. It's going to be against Anderson.
Touchdown will stand for Lanier.
It's down around the 3-yard line on the near sideline from our broadcast position.
Penalty will be enforced on the 2-point conversion try.
Anderson rushing to get some guys off of the field.
Okay, so the touchdown does stand. It's 14-12. Scoreboard's been corrected now. Mount Healthy's going to go for 2.
Crowded backfield.
Yeah, look at that. I'd like that.
Fumble!
Ball's loose on the ground. Crawford tries to dive on it under the center, and the point after try is no good on a failed center quarterback exchange. So Anderson continues to live right at the expense of the Mount Healthy mistakes. The score holds 14-12, 6:20 remaining in the second quarter. If you're a Mount Healthy fan, you really hate to see that promising drive and capped off with a mistake on a 2-point play when you had the right formation in out there.
Absolutely.
The offensive line's been getting the push, and you put 2 guys back there to block in front of Lanier, but that fumbled exchange just ends up hurting Mount Healthy, and really it's the mistakes that continue to haunt them. It's not so much what Anderson is doing to them, it's the mistakes that they're making.
Absolutely, Glenn. And it's another time-consuming drive, as they've had the ball for most of the second quarter. And that's just a heartbreaker for the Mount Healthy faithful.
So Deontay Hall somewhat dejected on the sideline, trying to get propped back up by head coach Harvey Crouch, get his mind right back into this game. It's only a 2-point game.
Mount Healthy's had the ball for 15 minutes and 31 seconds, where Anderson has had the ball for 2 minutes and 9 seconds, Glenn. So, time of possession and number of plays isn't showing a big factor right now, as we're going to see Newton.
Yeah, great return. Had a flag on the field out near the 30-yard line. Yeah, if you weren't from this area watching this game, I told you that stat, you would never think Anderson was leading the football game.
Absolutely not. And, we've, like as you said, Glenn, they've always been very competitive, and they've always reloaded. It's not more of revamped. So, they always come out guns a-blazing, and they're very competitive every year in the ECC. So you like to see that. And they're very versatile. They've ran the ball very well on the 8 plays they've had, and they've thrown the ball well, as we saw Joey Newton with that halfback pass. So it looks like that penalty was against Anderson.
Really just loaded rosters for both teams. Both teams bring in a lot of depth to this game tonight. Their Mount Healthy roster is actually 2 pages in length. I'm sure some of that's encompassing JV as well, but you've got the bodies, and obviously you've got the playmakers on the field. You're going to see a chance for some of those defensive playmakers to shine right here on this Anderson offensive possession.
David Thompson's back in for the Anderson Redskins, and number 25, Bennett Snyder, on the run there for the Redskins.
So Zeke Carell having some contact after the play with one of the Mount Healthy defenders. Mount Healthy defender was calling for a flag, and the officials weren't going for it. There's pass incomplete. This came in a little too hot.
I wouldn't want to mess with Carell, Glenn. That's a big boy, and he's going to play football for Notre Dame, and I wouldn't mess with a D1 offensive lineman. That's just my opinion, though.
Pass was intended for Bennett Snyder, and it falls incomplete. Well, this was the defensive lineman going at him. It's not like it was the kicker going at him.
But still, I mean.
I totally get your point. There's a flag on the field. Clock will stop at 5:46. That'll be against Mount Healthy, so the mistakes continue to accumulate for the Owls. It's going to bring the football out to about the 23-yard line, I believe it is, for Anderson.
We'll bring out the chain gang.
And now it's going to be a measurement on the penalty after the penalty to see if they'll get the first down by penalty.
And never know. They'll give them the first down.
No measurement.
I guess we're not going to walk the line tonight, Glenn.
Not tonight. We'll keep that Johnny Cash on the iPod warm for the next opportunity. Fresh set of downs for the Redskins, approaching 5:40. A little bit of a low snap. There's a run up the middle, but it's going to be blown up right behind the line of scrimmage by the Owls. Number 40, Alex Howard. Talented linebacker we talked about several times tonight. Knew it had to be him, right?
Right. Bennett Snyder's getting a lot of work, and we've called Howard's name a lot, and he's an exciting player to watch as we see another low snap.
Ball's on the ground.
Okay.
Need it when he went down to pick it up, so it'll be blown dead. So the Redskins, after having a couple of quick strike opportunities, are going in reverse at this point. We approach the 5-minute mark of the first half.
Smart of Thompson to take the knee there and not try and make anything of it to lose more yards than they already lost. We've got trips to the bottom and two wide receivers to the right.
Yep, roll out to the left, and the pass is going to be off the mark.
Yeah, he was running away from the play, Glenn, so just on the run and just cross your body. That's going to be a hard throw for any quarterback. So Thompson can't hang his head on that throw. It was a good idea, trying to find a wide receiver with some green space. So number 33, Willie Johnson, comes out for the punt.
Back to receive, lone deep man, Jamal Kelly, for the Mount Healthy Owls. 5'9", 150-pound senior. He's got great speed, as we've seen on multiple occasions tonight. Good stand up by the Mount Healthy defense at the time. A little bit of a low snap. High kick, but short. It's going to take Anderson bounce at the 45 and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Good field position for the Mount Healthy Owls after a high but short punt by the Anderson Redskins.
See if the Anderson defense can contain that Mount Healthy running game, as try to keep a 2-point lead with 4:35 remaining here in the first half.
Healthy makes their reads, looks over to the sideline for adjustments. 4:35, as I mentioned, to go in the second quarter. Single receiver to the top and the bottom. Lanier, of course, in the backfield. Crawford under center. Kelly goes in motion. Crawford's going to keep it, tries to cut back, but he's going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a small gain of a half a yard, if that.
Number 9, Jacob Lackmeyer, senior, with the tackle there for the Redskins, containing Crawford.
Yeah, there you see, this Mount Healthy offensive line's been doing a good job, but Anderson got the best of them on that one, as you saw on the replay. They send 2 receivers to the bottom, maybe 3. We're going to have Deontay Hall go in the slot, 1 to the top. Bit of a low snap.
Crawford on the keeper with Lanier in front of him.
Yeah, Lanier leading the way for Crawford, who advances the football down to the 31-yard line.
And Lackmeyer again on the stop there for the Redskins. But I wouldn't want to be in front of Lanier. That's a full-blown bulldozer coming at you.
3rd and 2, but that's a long 2, but it doesn't matter. As Lanier's able to doze his way forward, as David said.
James Camden on the tackle there for the Redskin defense. And number 5, Jimmy O'Toole, loses his helmet that play, so he comes on off, and it looks like his coaching staff will have a look at one of those Riddle speed flexes.
If you had the over on helmet losses at 3 tonight, you're in luck. A lot of helmets flying in this game.
Yeah, I think O'Toole might have been 3 or 4, or two or three of them. So hopefully we can get that tightened up for him, and we won't lose that one. Wow, what a truck by Lanier!
Yeah, Lanier just continues to impress. We're going to run out of accolades for him by the time we get to the 3rd quarter of this game. He is just shouldering the load, to say the least, for the Mount Healthy Owls. Wouldn't surprise me to see him named a Mercy Health MVP of this game. If the Owls hang on, they're able to pull this game out somehow. There's a timeout taken by the Redskins. Mount Healthy having the football at the 13-yard line. So the Redskins have now burned 2 timeouts in this game. Mount Healthy 3.
2:55 remaining here in the first half. Gorgeous Cincinnati evening.
Good to have football back.
Absolutely.
A lot of hype about the football season this year. If you're a fan of the high school game here in the Cincinnati area, of course, Kentucky and Southeast Indiana got underway last week. Well, I guess all of Indiana did technically, but a couple of teams ranked in the Supermax top 25 rankings with Coleraine and St. X. And at halftime, after we take a quick break, we're going to have John Snodgrass of Cincinnati.com over to talk about season ahead, his expectations for what to look forward to in Cincinnati area high school football this year.
It's always something to look forward to in the summer, Glenn. You get in that like late July, early August, you're wanting football, and you couldn't have asked for a better night. Not too hot. I mean, humidity is low. I mean, this is football kind of weather.
Yeah, I've been here when it's been 90 degrees outside and it's 100 on that field turf. These players will take that any day. We're back after the timeout. Mount Healthy trying to get adjusted offensively. Crawford in a pistol is going to hand off to Lanier. Again, bullies his way up the middle to the 6-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal now for the Owls. 2 minutes and 48 seconds to try to find the end zone. There's Coach Crouch. The closest thing to a smile we get out of Coach Crouch during a game. And he's got to like what he's seeing out of his Owls team so far.
I think for Anderson, Glenn, at halftime, there's going to be a big old number 7 on the board, circled. How are we going to stop him?
We're going to go right back to Lanier. Touchdown. Goes into the end zone, essentially untouched until it was too late. So another touchdown for Brandon Lanier and the Mount Healthy Owls. Mount Healthy will pull ahead in this game, 18-14.
I think they're going, oh, nope, here comes the kicking team.
Well, missed one. Then we had the mistake on the last touchdown. Take a look at the replay here. And watch Lanier. I mean, yeah, untouched.
Carries body.
Is really not much of an exaggeration there. I mean, the shoulders hit him right as he crossed the plane. So
Number 5, Michael Crawford for the hold. Oh, low snap.
Yeah, a little bit of a low snap.
But I think he splits it there.
Yep, kick is up and good.
So nice recovery by Mount Healthy, not only offensively but on special teams. You see Brandon Lanier getting a well-deserved break. Over, taking a look at the last play on the huddle technology on the far sideline. It's amazing what this team's have at their disposal now with huddle and the video monitors on the field. It's truly amazing the steps this game has taken the last couple of years in terms of technology for these players.
Absolutely. And I think it's a huge part of the game because, you know, it's hard to make halftime adjustments or adjustments in general. And, you know, getting to see your plays, I mean, it's like an NFL atmosphere. Yeah, they're not tablets or we're not printing off plays, but to have the accessibility to those TVs in the huddle, it's nice for these players to have, and so that they can look back and see what they need to do, or coaches can find an adjustment for them.
A lot better than what they used to have back in the day, right? Just a coach kind of yelling at you and spitting in your face a little bit.
Anderson, Joey Newton, and Ethan Hamilton.
Oh, kick is on the way from Mount Healthy.
Great kick.
Redskins have 2:23. That'll be a touchback, so fantastic kickoff out of Mount Healthy Owls.
Anderson will start 1st and 10 on zone 20.
Anderson with a chance to bounce back from a less than desirable drive on their last offensive possession. They'd love to find some quick points.
David Thompson's back in at quarterback. The second series in a row. We've got trips to the bottom and 2 wide receivers to the top.
Well, makes you know what they're thinking then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Back to pass, has time, steps up from a little bit of pressure. Pass is complete on the far side of the field.
David Thompson's pass complete to number 2, Eric Curlis.
Number 2.
Eric Curlis. He was on the receiving end of that last touchdown, Glenn, for the Anderson Redskins.
Anderson going tempo, back to the line, trying to catch Mount Healthy sleeping a little bit. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be about a yard shy of a first down, so the clock will continue to run.
Owen Kelly on the carry.
Number
Brought down by
22.
3, Alison Diallo. Gain of 4, it's 3rd and 1.
Brandon Snyder, first down.
Another run up the middle, gets the first down.
Owen Kelly off right guard.
Stop momentarily to
Stop
reset
made
the
by
chains.
51. Devon Hingston. That's a gain of 5 yards. Good for a first down, Anderson.
Clock back moving again, under 140 now. Ball spotted around the 33-yard line. Time to pass. Lets it fly.
Complete to Curlis again.
Yeah, complete on the far sideline. I thought the referee was going to signal he was out of bounds at first. He's kind of deceptive in his signaling. That's why I paused.
Gain of 5.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Clock stopped since he was pushed out of bounds after the completion. I almost got the Owls to jump that time. He's been working that hard count a lot tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Another low snap.
Pressure coming in up the middle. But the pass is complete. The ball's advanced out just shy of midfield. That was Lonnie Phelps who came up the middle. Give Thompson a little hello touch. You see him come through there.
Just a hey, how you doing?
Yep. 1st and 10. There's some pauses to adjust.
Ball at the 49.
Thompson's going to pass, has time. The offensive line's doing a good job. They had a receiver streaking down the near sideline. It's number 3, Cooper Bushman.
Almost out of Glenn, just a little bit out of those fingertips.
Yep, right play call at the right time. Just a little bit too much mustard on that one.
Bushman's listed at 5'10". If he's 2 inches taller, he gets it. He's young. He's got time to grow, right?
Yeah. Again, offensive line's doing a good job of giving Thompson time. That pass is going to be complete to Newton. There's going to be a flag in the middle of the field for a violent hit.
Number 25, Damari Womack.
He's got to be careful arguing with the official about that. You want to add on?
No.
You're already going to add on.
Thompson had all the time in the world, as we're going to see on this replay. And
yeah.
Womack, ooh. Shark Steak Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. Will be a personal foul, we are assuming.
Yep. Contact to the head, so we'll put 15 on.
just like that, the
15 yards
Redskins
tacked
are
on to the end of the play. Following
going
the mark
to be a yard shy of the red zone, but for all intents and purposes, they are there.
50 seconds, trips to the top of your screen, 2 wide receivers to the bottom. We'll see if that Redskins offense can keep Thompson having some time.
Thompson's looking over for adjustments. Good snap, pump fakes, lets it fly.
Just out of the reach. Number 3, Cooper Bushman again.
Coming up with the right play calls, they just have to execute. Plenty of time in which to do it. 34 seconds remaining.
Okay, second and 10.
You can see just a little bit off the mark there on the replay. We've got a great crew here tonight. Brought you some great shots of this game so far. Anderson elects to go up the middle and away from the pass, from the deep pass anyway, and really didn't quite get they were expecting that time.
Number 23, Logan Geary, running the ball there for the Redskins.
Now they're going to go all out, 5 wide, under 20 seconds. One-on-one in the corner of the end zone, just again, a touch overthrown.
Eric Curlis, again, the intended receivers. We've got 4th and 8.
7 on the scoreboard, 8 seconds to go. Looks like we're going to get a field goal try.
He's placing the tee at the Mount Healthy 31. 26.
Yeah, ball snap from the 26. They'll kick it from the 31. Good kick.
No good.
No good. Puts it to the left. Anderson comes up a little bit short. A valiant effort trying to get points on the board before the half to pull a little bit closer. Score holds at 19-14. 26-yard field goal is no good for the Anderson Redskins. 36-yard, excuse me. 3 seconds left here for the Owls. Assume they'll take a knee. Guess you shouldn't assume.
Yeah, who knows what happens when you do that.
You would assume with 3 seconds left, you're going to take that 5-point lead into the locker room. Kind of need that guy, right?
Even if it's just for one play.
Even if he is in the wrong position.
Put him somewhere. Give me a quick snap.
Let's protect your quarterback. And there we do. Take the knee. So at halftime, Mount Healthy 19, Anderson 14. Going to step away for a quick break and come back with John Snodgrass of Inquirer.com. You're watching Friday Night Football on ICRC.
To eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Action!
It's a short ride from your neighborhood
to your neighborhood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Es un corto trayecto de su colonia hasta su bosque local. Para encontrar un parque o zona verde cerca de usted, visite descubreelbosque.org.
Welcome back to Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium for this 21st annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Pleased to have with us here in the broadcast booth John Snodgrass of Cincinnati.com, one of the preps writers here in the area. And John, let's talk about this game first. What are your observations based on what you're seeing?
Well, first and foremost, Brandon Lanier, man. I mean, the kid is kind of, he had moments last year, but he's kind of a revelation tonight. And it's just the force, the will of that offensive line, and he's just like a sledgehammer. He just keeps pounding and pounding.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this offense for Mount Healthy evolves as teams start to key on him and what they're able to do with some of their other offensive weapons out there.
Yeah, and on the other side, Joey Newton listed as a wide receiver. I don't believe he had a catch in that first half, but he has a kickoff return and he has a touchdown pass.
Right.
So it's Anderson. They love to open the playbook up, do some fun things. They did that, but really it's those two on the offense. I thought this game coming in would be about the lines. It is about the lines. It's not necessarily what I thought, though. I thought maybe Anderson's offensive line would have a little bit more of an advantage. They've looked good, but Mount Healthy's line has looked great.
Yeah, Mount Healthy coming in a little bit off the radar after finishing last year at 4-6, 4-2 in the SWAC, and some key seniors departed, but some other guys have stepped up this year. So I think we're going to have some wide open conference races this year. Let's talk about some of the teams you cover on your beat. Who are some teams you think we need to look out for this year?
Well, let's start with the big schools. Let's start with D1 and Coleraine, St. X are the big ones. I'm really intrigued about that GCL South race. I think it's X's right now. I think it's theirs to lose. But with so much going on there, LaSalle coming off their first, playoff loss in 3 years. In 3 years. Moeller has a new coach. Elder has the only has the quarterback with the most experience in the conference. I think that one is. I still think it's X's to lose, but I think it is a lot. It's a lot more open than it has been in the last few years. And then moving over to Cole, same with GMC. That's Coleraine's conference. 18 years in a row, 8 straight playoff appearances, a regional final last year. I'm not really quite sure in the GMC who's the favorite to knock them off.
Mason's lost a ton of seniors.
Yeah, exactly.
This year.
You look at a team like Sycamore and Coach DeTillo. You never really know what he has, but they're always in there. At the end of the year, you have a school like Princeton here. They have 2 big-time junior recruits on the defensive side of the ball. That one, it's Coleraine, but then I'm not quite sure what's after that.
Yeah, so a lot of our ICRC communities in that GMC. Mason, as I said, lost a lot of seniors. Cupboard's not totally bare, but Matt Soar is gone now, so there's a battle of who's going to come in and
they have Eric
take
Miller
that
that they
role.
got to replace on the offensive line. He's at Purdue now. I mean, they have a lot of pieces that they got to plug in.
Yeah. Then over at Sycamore, a lot of those skill players coming back from a team that beat Milford in the first round of the playoffs last year.
Right, and I've said this. I think for Sycamore is just one of those programs that year in and year out seem to surprise everybody, and I don't know why they do that anymore because they're they've shown for years that, especially under Coach DeTillo, that they can perform well.
Yeah.
They're always sort of this team on the side, and I'm like, they're good guys.
Yeah. Coach DeTillo has put together a solid program over there. Yeah. You take the Coleraine, factor out of that, which I know you can't, but look how wide open that conference would be without Coleraine.
Exactly. And then we talk about Princeton here, and 2 giant players on defense. You maybe wonder where's the offense coming from, but they should be pretty solid on defense. Then you throw in teams like Hamilton and programs like that might jump up and bite somebody.
Right. Yeah, and we're going to see Hamilton here on Friday Night Football on ICRC later in the year. At this point, we have them scheduled to come right here to Pat Mancuso Field and Viking Stadium to take on the Vikings. Talk about the job Coach Daniels has done in turning this program around. A little bit of turmoil. Pat McLaughlin comes in, gets the opportunity to go over to LaSalle, and then Mike Daniels comes in and tries to put his mark on the program last year. Was dealing with some personal adversity with the death of his father-in-law. But talk about the season and what you're expecting this year.
I think the biggest thing when you talk about Princeton under Coach Daniels is that I think he's gotten the word out more than anything else. I mean, you see their kids at camps more, you see their kids being referenced more, and I think that draws especially younger kids to a program. You know, it was his first year. We're waiting to see the second year, but they have a base. Like I said, that junior class is pretty solid. I'm a little concerned about the offense right now, but who knows? It's week one. You never know anything going into it. But the defense should be solid. I like where they're headed. You know, I'm not sure if they're ready for a cold rain yet.
Right.
But very few teams in the state are.
Well, it takes some time to build a program, and this is just year two of the Mike Daniels era as a head coach here at Princeton. So definitely some strides forward. I think they're going to create some excitement and some buzz back for the Princeton community this year. And a big game with Milford tomorrow night. Milford coming off their first playoff appearance in 30 years, essentially last year.
And they got a great weapon in Connor Foster.
Yeah.
You know, big tight end going to Northwestern. You know, he's slated more to play offensive tackle, I believe, at Northwestern. But you know, he's a giant target out there for them. And everything that Coach Grip has done out there has been amazing. And you know, the Eagles playoff team last year, like you said. I wouldn't be surprised if they're contending for that ECC title once again. That's a conference that we haven't mentioned yet that I think is maybe the most open out of all of the big school conferences that there are. I mean, the ECC is I could list 3 or 4 teams and I could say, they could win that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you had a 3-way tie last year with Milford, West Claremont, and Anderson here.
And then you also have arguably the best defensive player in the entire region in Juwan Briggs.
Right.
Who demands double and sometimes triple teams on defense. You know, the record wasn't the greatest for Walnut last year, but that kid, if you get a chance, go see him because I mean he will shed 2 to 3 blockers going to Virginia.
As you said, and just Turpin, new offensive coordinator this year. Rob Page comes over from Reading High School. Rob's always been a friend of ICRC, but going over to work with Coach McCullough, taking over that Turpin offense.
Yeah, that's a team that I'm intrigued by because I'm not quite sure where they fit into that overall ECC standing. I'm blanking right now. They lose the big offensive lineman to Kentucky. I'm mad at myself for forgetting his name. You know, so they have pieces that they need to fill in. But yeah, you know, from what we saw today from Anderson, you know, we're kind of seeing Anderson's still sort of Anderson, but they're going to. You know, it's hard to replace a Jay Volpenheim, who's at Tiffin right now.
Yeah, teams are going to have to step up. Or the kids are going to have to step up.
Right, and they lost weapons around him.
Right.
So you know, the ECC, like I said, is probably of the big schools, the ones that. The one conference I'm like, you know, I have no idea at this point.
Yeah, and then a lot of our schools reside in the Cincinnati Hills League.
Yeah.
Some of the smaller schools in the community, and that league has been kind of Wyoming's in years past. Indian Hill has stepped up. What do you see there this year?
You know, I still like Wyoming. You know, they return a lot of pieces. You know, Prater's a great quarterback.
Still young.
Yeah. I mean, he's already getting D1 looks. You know, but Indian Hill is a great. Great defensive front with Jalen Thornton and Joe Oakes. Mick Oakes left, but Joe Oakes, who's announced for Ohio. You know, that is a rivalry that I think is maybe a little bit underplayed in the city. I think it's a lot better than, you know, it doesn't get the big cachet of like a LaSalle Coleraine, an Elder X, you know, a Coleraine X, you know, a Battle of the Skies, Mason Sycamore. But that's a really solid rivalry that, you know, I honestly think that's going to decide that conference once again. I still think Wyoming is the favorite. I think they should be the favorite, but we'll see. You know, you never know with Indian Hill.
Well, in transition at Reading, as we said, with Rob Page leaving. And then you got Marymount. Wally Rennie comes back. He seems like he's been there 8 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's one of those kids. He's one of those kids that you just look down at the stat sheet every week and you're like, man, he's still doing it week in and week out. And, you know, there's a lot of talent in that league. Maybe not necessarily the big high-profile kids, but kids that are going to play really, really well somewhere, whether it be at a Tiffin or, you know, a D2, a D3 school. There's a lot of really good talent in that league.
John, as we wrap up our last minute or so here together, I know you recover recruiting for Cincinnati.com as well. Any kids that have stood out to you on the recruiting standpoint in football this year we haven't talked about at this point?
You know, so far, Not necessarily. I really like Lonnie Phelps here today as well as Alex Howard. You know, Lonnie Phelps had that giant sack, but then the very next play was a touchdown pass,
Right,
and
right.
Alex Howard's all over the place. You know, those are two kids that I think Mount Healthy needs. Yeah, maybe more than a lot of teams need somebody. You know, now that me saying that, Brandon Lanier just proved how important he is on the other side of the ball. But you know, when coming into the season, you thought that was going to be a strength, and it's been a strength so far in the first half. But those are two kids that really jump out at me that of all the schools, because of their size, because of the division that they play in, I think they need those big time guys popping up.
Well, John, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us at halftime tonight here. I know you're on deadline as it is a Thursday night game and you've got a gamer to get fouled, but appreciate you stopping by and we'll look forward to talking with you later on in the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John. Folks, we'll be right back with the second half of action in just a few minutes.
To Friday Night Football on ICRC, a special Thursday night kickoff edition. Non-healthy Owls taking on the Anderson Redskins in the 21st annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown here at Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium at Princeton High School. Glenn Olson and David Olson with you. The non-healthy Owls lead 19-14. Some quick halftime stats courtesy of the Anderson stats crew. Mount Healthy 40 rushes, 220 yards. All 220 of their yards coming on the ground.
Yeah.
Anderson, 11 of 20, 90 total yards. So 70 yards through the air, 90 yards on the ground. We've talked about Lanier a lot. Brandon Lanier, where's number 7 for the Mount Healthy Owls? 18 carries, 107 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just absolutely amazing. Yeah. And Michael Crawford, 16 rushes for 94 yards. So true dual threat back there
for Mount Healthy. Mount Healthy ran 31 plays. Anderson just 8. Time of possession was Mount Healthy 15:31. Anderson 2:09 at one point in the game. So Mount Healthy was dominating the time of possession and trailed for a good part of the game, but taking the lead late in the second half. So your thoughts on what to expect in the second half, David?
Yeah, Dad, or Glenn, sorry. I'd like to see Anderson stop Brandon Lanier. That's a big one. If Anderson can stop Lanier, I think they can remain competitive in this game. Anderson offensively, they're versatile. They're running the ball very well. They're throwing the ball very well. But they've got to defeat that Mount Healthy offense. They got to get those throws. Take off a little bit of mustard, because there's a couple of throws we saw in the first half that were just out of the reach of the Anderson receivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how Anderson has adjusted defensively and offensively. If we still see two quarterbacks come in, number 11 David Thompson and number 12 Jackson Kuhn, if they're still going to alternate in the backfield. And then on the Mount Healthy side, just keep giving the ball to Lanier and Crawford, because they've been workhorses and they've carried this Mount Healthy team so far. Yeah, it will be interesting to watch that quarterback derby, if that's indeed what it is, shake out between Kuhn and Thompson. Time of possession updated was Mount Healthy 17:46 in the first half, and Anderson 6:14. Again, if you didn't know this quick strike Anderson Redskins team, and a lot of that quick strike coming on special teams tonight with Newton's kick return, you would think that Mount Healthy was way out ahead of this game, but as it is, just a 5-point lead at this point. There you see us up here in the press box, the new press box here at Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. As we mentioned earlier, new bleachers put in on both sides of the field. New field turf was installed last year, so I think with the addition of the sports complex just across from where we sit with the baseball, soccer, and softball fields, that the athletic renovations are just about complete here. Just a wonderful facility at Princeton High School for a wide variety of sports here. I know we've seen the Division I girls basketball being played over in the gymnasium. So just wonderful facilities here, and we appreciate one of our communities, Princeton City School District, hosting us tonight as we bring you this special edition of Friday Night Football. Yeah, Glenn, I'd agree with, as you said, with the sports facilities, the gym being so versatile, and as you said, Division I girls basketball being played here. I've had the honor to coach and play boys basketball and volleyball here, so they take good care of us over here. They treat the athletes very well. The athletic training staff's very attentive, and it's just fun. It feels like a small college campus, Glenn.
And we have some big-time football being played with the Mount Healthy Owls and the Anderson Redskins. We're just about to get the second half of action underway. Anderson did defer after winning the toss, so they will receive the football here to start the second half as the ball takes a bounce inside the 20. Last time that happened, it went to the house for a touchdown, but it will not happen this time.
Number 10, Ethan Hamilton, on the return for the Redskins, as his counterpart, number 1, Joey Newton, let him take handle of that kickoff, as Anderson will start with the ball on their own 29.5-yard line.
Decent enough field position to get things started here for the Redskins in the second half. They're going to go back to that 5 wideout look right off the bat.
Thompson in at quarterback.
And he's going to be wrapped up from behind and brought down at the 26-yard line. Not the start Coach Dwyer wanted for his Anderson Redskins. Take a look at it on replay here. There you see, guess who, David?
Lonnie Phelps Jr.
Lonnie Phelps coming in from behind, fighting through that tackle. Or through that line. Yeah, he's got his man. That one's right on the money. Pass will be complete. Heck of a catch that time by number 2, Eric Curlis. Big gainer, and that's that quick strike capability we've talked about all game.
And Thompson, he struggled near the end of the first half trying to get his throws right on pinpoint accuracy, and he finds Curlis for that one, and that was a beauty, and Anderson keeping up with that tempo offense, Glenn.
We're going to go down a receiver and put somebody in the backfield, but a flag will interrupt the proceedings. It's going to be a false start. The Redskins is going to back them up 5 yards. So a little bit of momentum is temporarily stalled by the penalty as the Redskins hurried back up to the line, trying to catch Mount Healthy a little bit out of breath after that big play.
Good idea, just poor execution, Glenn. So we'll see if Anderson can bounce back from that small 5-yard penalty if they have 1st and 15 inside of Mount Healthy territory.
Trips to the top, one to the bottom. Man in the backfield goes in motion. Thompson up the middle on the design keeper. He's going to get the ball back to the 25-yard line. So he gets back the penalty and a couple more.
I think Thompson did a great job there, Glenn, looking off the defense and trying to get them to bite as if it was a screen throw. So we're going to get the same formation here, and he takes off as another throw.
All kinds of times, lots of hand checking going down the sideline. And that is a touchdown for the Anderson Redskins. It's Eric Curlis once again.
Yeah, he's come up big, Glenn, on the receiving end of 2 big touchdowns, as Anderson will regain the lead, and looks like from the Anderson sideline they will be going for 2. So number 12, Jackson Kuhn, trots on the field for the Redskins.
Nice recovery that time from Thompson. It was a little bit of a low snap. The Mount Healthy defender never turned around to look for the football. So just like that, Anderson moves back in front, 20-19. 2-point try on the way. Thompson's looking for some room. Tries to cut back up and find it, but he's going to be stopped short. So Anderson accomplishes its goal of retaking the lead, but they're not able to add on to it.
There was a flag on the play there, Glenn, but so your legal formation or legal substitution penalty is declined. So 1-point margin of victory for the Anderson Redskins.
Well, not a victory just yet if you're a Redskins fan, but 1-point lead, 20-19, 10:33 remaining. We expected this to be a back and forth contest, and it's lived up to that so far tonight. A little bit of a surprise, as we talked about with John Snodgrass at Cincinnati.com, about the emergence of Brandon Lanier at the running back position, but really no surprises on the Anderson side other than some different names. You knew that they were going to get the football moving down the field in a hurry. There you see the Redskins cheerleaders who made the trip over from the east side of town to support their men out on the gridiron tonight.
You know, it's kind of like the saying goes, Glenn, like you cut the head off of a snake and 2 grow back. So, yeah, so what? They graduate Jay Volpenheim. Okay, we're going to throw Kuhn and Thompson at you. So Anderson's always been able to reload.
Jamal Kelly is going to field this one in front of his teammate, Deontay Shaw. He's going to try the middle and then tries to cut back and loses a few yards. He's going to be brought down at the 12-yard line. So those cutbacks are great when they work, but when you go wrong or go backward and get caught, it can hurt your team.
Yeah, he definitely lost 10 or 15 yards there, Glenn, just by trying to cut back and trying to avoid the defenders. So we'll see if the Anderson defense can make a stop, or if the Mount Healthy offense comes out, give them the ball on the running onto Crawford or Brandon Lanier.
Lanier's had plenty of time to rest, long halftime here tonight. Plenty of chance to get his legs back underneath him. Plenty of time for the Mount Healthy staff to make adjustments to this offensive game plan. Receivers to the top and bottom. Lanier in the back field with Crawford.
Guess who?
Goes back to Lanier over the right tackle. Can be good for maybe a yard. I haven't seen the Owls going right a lot tonight. It's been up the middle or left, excuse me, for the most part. There you see Michael Crawford, senior, back in action after missing most of his junior year with an injury.
Crawford making adjustments. Number 11.
It's Deontay Hall. Tries the right side. Clock stopped on the field by the officials. And there is a flag on the field.
Against Mount Healthy.
Against Mount Healthy. So negates a good run. We would have set up a 3rd and short. It's now going to become 3rd and a whole bunch. Flag was thrown, excuse me, in about the spot where the tackle occurred. Maybe a little bit, a few yards ahead of it. Nonetheless, Mount Healthy now in a big hole, 3rd and 13. Deep in their own territory, approaching 9:30 to play.
Crawford calls timeout. Still some confusion on that Mount Healthy side.
So again, another early timeout taken by Mount Healthy.
Again, not what you want to see, Glenn. Couple minutes in here to the second half and already having to burn a timeout where that one could be needed with during the 2-minute drill. In the fourth quarter, it still could be a close game. It could be a 1-point game. And, you could have just wasted that timeout just because there's some confusion. Yeah, I get wanting to settle everyone, but that just sucks when you got to use one that early because that could come back to haunt you later in the game.
Well, you just hate to see this kind of confusion persisting, especially coming this soon after halftime where you have an opportunity to get everyone back on the same page. A little bit of adversity out there after the penalty, but now just, as I said, have to get everyone on the same page if you're going to be successful this year. You've had a month of camp, and not sure what's leading to some of this confusion. Maybe, an injury occurred for the Owls late in camp, a key piece missing, but nonetheless, 3rd and 13. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Man in motion. Crawford's going to roll out to his left side, throws across his body.
Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete at the 25-yard line. Pass was intended for number 13, Keon Bugnusi.
That was at the first. I think that might have been the first pass attempt we had seen from the Mount Healthy offense tonight.
First pass attempt indeed for the Owls after running the football the entirety of the first half. 41 rushes, 1 pass attempt. Thanks again to our Anderson stats crew for feeding us information tonight. This newly renovated press box, or newly constructed press box, I guess. Not renovated, brand new press box here. Pat Mancuso Field.
Fumble!
Yep, ball's on the ground, and that's a safety. Yeah. Boy, the mistakes just continue to haunt Mount Healthy Owls. A low snap, the ball's on the ground. And just like that, tack on 2 more points for the Redskins. So they can forget about that missed 2-point conversion until practice tomorrow. When they're going to work on that a lot. But for right now, it's just like they had converted that. They go ahead 22-19, 9:01 remaining.
Glenn, I don't want to be critical, but I feel like in that he caught the punt outside of the end zone, fall on it rather than give up 2 easy points. Yeah, they're going to have the ball at the 1-yard line, but that gives your defense at least an attempt to stop them and hold them to 3. But I think him trying to get back up and re-punt that was just a poor decision, and it could come back to haunt Mount Healthy later in the game because, it's a 3-point game. A missed field goal, or another missed 2-point conversion could hurt. So we'll see if the Anderson punt team can get a decent return as Newton goes back deep for the Redskins.
Well, Coach Crouch trying to get his young team back together and refocused. It's only a 3-point ball game. Still anybody's game, as the saying goes, but got to figure out a way to eliminate the communication issues and prevent those mistakes.
Yeah.
Joey Newton, who's had an impact on this game, understatement of the night, back to receive the free kick from the Owls. 9:01 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Great kick.
Yeah, decent enough kick. It's going to be fielded inside the 35-yard line by Newton. He cuts back, looks for a hole in the middle, weaves his way to the right side. Now he's going to cut back across the field before he's brought down from behind near the Mount Healthy 30-yard line. So another great return by the Anderson Redskins special teams unit led by Joey Newton. Boy, that Mount Healthy defender or special teams player got back in there in a hurry to save that touchdown. You're going to see this on replay here. Watch him sprint in from behind. Good footwork by Newton here. Good vision on the field, finding those holes.
Javante Montgomery of Mount Healthy. And
better
a holding call on Anderson.
Looked better live than it did on replay. He got there in a hurry, I'm telling you. That was a touchdown saving tackle.
Absolutely, but that holding call is going to hurt Anderson.
Yeah.
It's going to back him up a little bit as we're going to see Thompson again in the backfield for the Redskins.
Yeah, so the spot foul haunts, right?
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 from Anderson's own 44-yard line. Excuse me. It was quarterback draw up the middle, looking for room on the left side, trying to get across midfield, but it will not materialize. And again, that is David Thompson back in at quarterback for the Anderson Redskins.
Alex Howard on the tackle there for the Owls. Alex Howard, pardon me.
Hey, you can't look down much on this Anderson offense. You look up and the play's half over.
Yeah, a quick tempo.
Yeah, they're going to get you.
And looks close to a first down. We'll see if they give it to him.
It's half a yard shy based on the official spot up here. And Anderson's going to come back to the line quickly, not give the officials much time to think about it. 3rd and less than a yard. Handoff up the middle. 1st down and more for the Redskins.
Logan Geary.
Is there a flag that came in on the top there?
I didn't see one, but there is.
Yeah. I thought it could have got it confused with the official's hand waving over there on the top of the screen, but that's going to be against Mount Healthy.
Contact to the head again.
Yeah, march the Redskins forward.
It's another penalty that's going to hurt. Another big 15-yarder. That's the second one.
It's 2 of those. Yeah, it's 2 of those, right? Yeah.
Penalties will haunt.
Well, and, again, that's a mental mistake. The powers that be that make football rules have decided you can prevent, yourself as a defender from striking another player, an offensive player, in the head. So you've got to figure out a way to not do that, not give the other team 15 free yards. Clock will now tick under 8 minutes after the penalty. Redskins again on the march. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be good for maybe a yard.
22. Owen Cole on the run there for the Redskins.
He's a junior. Empty backfield this time for Thompson. Pressure coming from his blind side, but he's able to get the pass away to Newton, who sheds one tackler. He's dragging a couple more with him as he drags the football inside the 15-yard line and a couple defenders with him. So Joey Newton showing some flashes of brilliance here tonight.
While that was
this
going
game.
on, Glenn, number 77, Nick Turciano, lost his helmet. It rolled about 20 yards to midfield. I don't even know if they have 12 men or 11 men on the field right now.
I think that's 5, right? It's
I
got to
think
be
that might
5
be.
helmet losses we've had.
But I think they might have ran that play with 10 guys. So here comes Turciano again. Oh, no. Okay. He did have a sub.
Aren't they custom fitting these helmets now with all the technology out there?
I don't think at the high school level yet, Glenn. At the collegiate level, they're 3D scanning these guys' heads, but I don't think the funds are just there for high school sports.
There's going to be another penalty on Mount Healthy. Defender jumped across into the neutral zone, so it's going to get Anderson even closer.
Penalties.
10 penalties now for Mount Healthy. If they end up losing this game, you can point to that on the stat sheet as a big reason why.
And tomorrow's not an off day.
No. Ooh. Not Sycamore coming up next week.
Absolutely not. No, you definitely take advantage of it. You're in the weight room Saturday still.
Batted down. Tried a little dump off there, but it's batted down. It's number 51 for Mount Healthy, Devon Hingston. He's a junior. I think got a paw up on that one.
It's 3rd down and 1.
Thompson's got an empty set.
Yep, 3rd and 1, 2 to the top, trips to the bottom. Main goes in motion. Going to roll out to the right. Steps away from the pursuit. And pass is incomplete.
Thompson looks to be asking to go for it on 4th and short, deep inside Mount Healthy territory, and he looks like his wish will be granted.
I think you have to at this point.
Absolutely.
Got to have momentum on your side. After that safety, you'd really like to take away points on this drive after the safety, right?
Yeah. 4th and a long 1.
You do it to your running back, let him do his job. Not only does he get a first down, he finds his way into the end zone. Number 25, Snyder Bennett. He's a junior. Makes the Owls pay for all the mistakes on that drive. Anderson starting to open up a little bit more of a lead now, and they are going to go for 2, it looks like. Where are we?
I think we had a last-minute decision. I think we're kicking the PAT, Glenn. They're all staring at each other like, what are we doing? Yeah, I think we
28 to 19, this will give you a 10-point lead. I think it's the wise move. The 2-point try fails, you're stuck at 9. So, taking a long time to get this ball snapped.
Newton to hold. Blocked.
And blocked.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
The first one was down here
at the other end, yeah. It's the other end of the field, south end of the field, or I guess it'd be the east end of the field here. Well, I like the idea of going for the point after try, but they're going to have some work to do in special teams portion of practice next week to try to get some things figured out there and those low kicks and
for sure
what's causing that to happen. But nonetheless, Anderson has a 9-point lead, 28 to 19 with 6:28 remaining. Still plenty of ball game left here if you're an Owls fan. Plenty of time to get things done, assuming the Owls can eliminate the mistakes. Boy, both those kicks looked a lot the same.
Yeah, they did.
PATs.
Low little bullets. Glenn, it kind of reminds me just of golf, like just he's either lifting up too early and just not getting all of it and just not getting under it enough,
You've seen me play.
Right. I mean, hey, some guys hit them good, some guys hit them bad, so you never know. But
I'm in the latter category.
Hopefully we'll see if he can get those kicks up. I mean, they've got that kicking net over on the side, Glenn, so, I mean, in my opinion, I would think he would be over on the side working this to see if it's a him problem, if he's not getting under the ball enough or what. But as we see, a gorgeous kickoff.
Fielded by Kelly back at the 5-yard line. Runs right into traffic, though, around the 25, and there's a big scrum right in the middle of the field before the referee blows it dead. Good field position starts this drive for the Owls, who I think need to get some points back on the board on this drive after disappointing start to the second half. The penalties and mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be looking to run on the ball. Whether it's Lanier or Crawford, I think, with only one pass attempt this late in the game, we're going to keep seeing the run game just because Lanier has 3 touchdowns and Crawford throwing the ball very well. So I think they're going to run, but Anderson could have made great halftime adjustments to stop the running game.
They'll go back to Lanier. Going back to what worked. He'll barrel his way forward for a gain of about 3 yards, maybe a little over 3. Boy, look at him.
It's just hard to bring down. Kind of reminds me of like a Jerome Bettis, just taller. Like a bus. There ain't no stopping him.
Somebody didn't have him low. Bottom of that pile. I don't think he would have got a lot more than that.
Crawford on the keeper, but he was met immediately.
Didn't fool anybody that time. There were 4 Redskins defenders there ready for that one. So the Owls unfortunately marched backwards. Ball's going to be back inside the 30 to the 29.
Loss of 3.
And you see the play just really never had a chance, unfortunately.
Just met immediately. Like you said, no chance. They read that read option very well. But we got 3rd and long. You got trips to the top of your screen. 1 on the bottom. Crawford rolls out. Looks like he's going to pass.
This will be pass number 2 on the night. Throws a nice pass, but it's going to be out of bounds. Incomplete.
Michael Crawford's pass was intended for 14, Deshaunte Williams.
It was intended for Deshaunte Williams. Would have moved the ball well into Redskins territory, but just off the mark.
4th and officially 9. Short 9. So we're going to see Jake Newton go back deep for the Anderson Redskins again. See if the kicking woes will continue for the Mount Healthy Owls.
Well, you would sure hope not, because that would give the Redskins fantastic field position if you're a Mount Healthy fan. But find out what happens here. Good enough snap, a little bit of a side leg kick. Not the prettiest kick in the world, but it did the job. It's going to be fielded at the 35-yard line. Oh, and there's a vicious hit from behind.
Guess who, Glenn? Lonnie Phelps Jr.
Well, guess who
Came in
caught
like
it?
a freight train. Luke Newton. Jake Newton.
Joey Newton. We'll get it right sooner or later. But
I think he's got older brothers that played basketball.
He may have. But, wow, just what a lick. Great job by our camera crew there.
That closing speed, wow.
Yeah. So the brutality of this game amazes me sometimes. Nice hit there by Mount Healthy.
I think Mount Healthy's punter took a step up there, so like the snap wasn't as long, and it was a kind of a rugby-style kick.
Yeah,
where he was running out to the side.
Yeah, definitely was not your traditional punting style. There's a flag comes in from the official in the near sideline, and he was pretty adamant about that flag. False start on Anderson. Yeah, he stepped up and was on that flag in a hurry. I wasn't sure. I was watching the field, not the monitor. I don't know if you saw it in the shot, but he's pretty adamant about that penalty.
Lots of movement going on the D-line and offensive line.
Yeah. Surprised there haven't been more penalties as much as these teams move pre-snap.
David Thompson on the quarterback draw.
Thompson with the draw up the middle. Gets a couple of yards back, but not as many as they gave up on the penalty.
2nd and long. Trips to the bottom of your screen, 2 to the top.
Thompson back to pass. Clean pocket. Pass is complete to Curlis.
First down.
He's going to advance the ball over into Mount Healthy territory. It'll be down at the Mount Healthy 45, so a nice recovery from the penalty.
Thompson barking out orders to get back to the line, as we're going to see trips again to the bottom of the screen. A tight end and a running back set up, so a new formation looking for Anderson as they're going to hand the ball off right up the middle. And he finds a way outside.
Minutes later, the ball carrier brought down by 10.
Holding. Bring it back.
Yep. So Anderson seems to have a little bit of forward momentum, and then they end up backing up a little bit. With this, caught a little bit of the penalty bug here these last couple of plays.
That was Bennett Snyder on the run before the penalty.
Penalty is holding against Anderson. Penalty marked in the spot of the infraction, which was the 41-yard line, 10-yard mark.
So they'll move, the Redskins, will move back into their own territory by about a fourth of the football. Ball spotted just shy of the 50-yard line. And timeout for an injured player on the field. It's a Mount Healthy player who is injured. Can't tell because of the injured player being down on his back who is injured. Well, it's been an interesting second half. Lots of penalties and mistakes by both sides they'd like to have back, but Anderson has been able to capitalize on a few breaks that have come their way and lead this game 28-19 at the moment. 4:07 on the clock as it stopped here for this injury timeout. As a Mount Healthy Owls players being attended to. Mentioned a couple.
There's 2 of them, or is just the one just back at the 33?
Well, I don't know where the other one is. If there's 2.
25.
There's a lot of guys on the sideline laying down, or not laying down, but stretching on the sideline and things like that. But you're talking about over in the huddle?
That's what it looked like, but number 25 from Mount Healthy. Damari Womack was the injured player down.
All right, both teams will take the field. 4:07 remaining. As we said, 28-19. Anderson in front in the third quarter of the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown game. Being played at this neutral field. Thompson looks left and then fires a dart off to his right. It is complete. Nice pickup for the Redskins.
Parrish set up at the tight end position for the Redskins on that reception, as Glenn just said, was he got second on about 12.
So getting a couple of those yards back. Mount Healthy rushing to get a player off in time, and I don't think they did it. There's going to come a penalty flag, but no, it's going to be a penalty on Anderson for a false start. A player didn't get off the field in time on the top, though, for the Owls.
Anderson's head coach definitely talking to the referee there about that, but the ref, you know, they're not always right, but they're never wrong. But second and long for the Redskins.
And you don't have a dozen officials working the game either, as you do at some of the higher levels of the game, right?
Right. Thompson,
all kinds of time, lets it fly down the middle. Nearly intercepted, or could have been intercepted. I won't say nearly, by number 17. Dernick Martin, excuse me. Kind of tells you where the Anderson offensive staff's mind is right now, though. Pass protection held up great that time, but either Thompson overthrew it or he and his receivers weren't on the same page.
Thompson trying to find an audible here. Looks over to the sideline for an adjustment.
Yeah, 5 receivers, empty backfield. Again, a little bit of a low snap. Here comes the Mount Healthy blitz. Somehow the pass is complete, and look out. He's got a parade of blockers in front of him. That's Joey Newton. Boy, did look, I don't know. First glance, it looked like he grabbed him by the face mask, but I don't see any flags, so he must have had him by the jersey.
Lonnie Phelps Jr., but there is a player down in the backfield at the Anderson 30.
One of those 9 guys that Mount Healthy brought on that blitz. He's hurt bad, yeah. Squirming around pretty good down there. It looks like it's a right leg problem being tended to. Got him by the bottom of the jersey. Oh, my God.
Lonnie Phelps Jr. showing no mercy.
Wow.
I don't know how Thompson got that off, Glenn. The bull rush was coming, and he somehow found Joey Newton for a big gain.
I hate to speculate, but I think that's number 51, Devon Hinkston, the junior defensive lineman who was the injured player. He's down at the Anderson 30-yard line right now. And if we get a chance to look at that replay again, you'll see Mount Healthy brought the house on a blitz. So it's kind of hard to see where the injury might have occurred, but there were 4 or 5 white jerseys and red helmets coming up the middle on that last play.
He's got both training staffs over there working on him. A wonderful crew from Anderson and Mount Healthy High School. I think more eyes, the better.
Yeah, well, again, hate to speculate, but this isn't one that looks like they're trying to stretch out. This looks like one of the more serious variety, unfortunately. He was writhing around in pain. Obvious he was in significant pain. That injury occurred after the play. Both the Anderson training staff was first on the scene, and Mount Healthy came out later, but it was pretty apparent that it was a serious enough injury at the time. Glad to see him back up on his feet. Glad to see him on his feet and not on a cart.
Looks like a right knee injury, Glenn.
Yeah, it was that right leg, and he's not putting much weight on that at all. So obviously our thoughts are being sent out to Devon Hinkston that this is not a serious injury and certainly not a season-ending injury for him, but it's pretty obvious he's in a tremendous amount of discomfort, to say the very least.
It's great work by the athletic trainers, Glenn.
Yeah. Well, they're really the unsung heroes of all these athletic contests. You know, they don't just show up for Friday night football. They're there at every game. Freshman, JV, doesn't matter. These training staffs are there. Volleyball, cross country. You know, there's a trainer on hand at just about every athletic event. So they truly put the time and effort in to care for these student athletes.
Yeah, I mean, like they become like they're like little siblings or like their own children. You know, wasn't it last summer that the trainer used the AED device to revive a player during a football game? So, you know, they're unsung heroes as we're going to get back to action.
Yeah, nice cutback. That time on that running play by Anderson's number 25, Bennett Snyder. Anderson obviously loaded with talented athletes. This has been the case the last few years. Go back to Snyder again. He's going to be flung to the ground and get back maybe to the original line of scrimmage. And now slow to get up for Mount Healthy's Alex Howard. Hopefully just a cramping issue. He's staying out on the field. 3rd and 6 here. Take a look at the replay. Or back to live action now after you saw the replay. Looking over for the adjustment is Thompson. Empty backfield. Draw up the middle. 1st down and more as he gets to the 10-yard line. So nice play call that time. Thompson able to capitalize on a big hole up the middle. But offensive line's really doing a great job. And talking at halftime, just a long history of great offensive linemen to come out of this Redskins program. A couple guys playing in the pros right now. And Zeke Correll, of course, verbally committed to Notre Dame for next season.
Yeah, come December or January, he'll sign his national letter of intent, Glenn. So unless something changes between then, we'll see him in the blue and gold.
Ooh. Boy, the big hits just continue. The football's advanced inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
Speaking of Zeke Correll, Glenn, here he comes back as we're getting close to the end zone. And why not bring the big boy back and let him lead the way? 3rd and short.
I'll tell you, if you're a fan of big hits, we've seen them tonight in this game, but there's a touchdown for the Anderson Redskins. So they're starting to get into that territory where can get a little more comfortable. 34-19 with 55 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Anderson able to impose their will a little bit more at this point. Good shot of the Anderson faithful here. Inside of Viking Stadium, made the trip up from the east side of town. Just find the holes. Go where they aren't, so to speak, right?
I think there's might be an offsides there, Glenn, but I think the PAT will stand.
Yeah. Good kick that time. Flag, as David said. You going to keep it? Oh, goodness, they wouldn't kick it again. Yeah, they're going to decline or accept the penalty and move it up and go for 2. Yeah, so back out onto the field now is Jackson Kuhn. A little bit of a different look at quarterback. Going to spread them out. 3 to the bottom, 1 to the top. 1 man in the backfield, a little bit of a low snap. Kuhn under pressure gets it off, and it's intercepted by the Owls at the 5. So the gamble does not pay off for the Redskins, but they have a 15-point lead nonetheless. So smart enough gamble, I think, knowing that some of the struggles Mount Healthy has had tonight. Mount Healthy brought the pressure there. Kuhn had to get rid of that ball a little quicker than he would have liked, I think, on the design rollout. And the point after try does not convert for Anderson. 34-19, 55 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Seen a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Special teams touchdowns, special teams miscues, some big hits.
Mm-hmm.
Old school smash mouth football, some spread them out, score quick football. Nice high kick down the middle. It's going to be fielded at the 15-yard line.
He's got a hole.
Yeah, good hole up the middle, but it's going to close around the 30.
Jamal Kelly on the kickoff return.
So another good return for Jamal Kelly of Mount Healthy. Good field position for the Mount Healthy Owls. Certainly not out of it, but facing a little bit of an uphill task at this point. Down 15 points. See if they elect to go back to Old Faithful here. Brandon Lanier churn away if they're going to mix it up and try to get a quick score up. Question answered. Back to Lanier. Anderson starting to wise up to that a little bit as they crowd the middle. Limit the gain to 3 yards, brings up 2nd and 7.
Stop by 96. Stephen Lamb-Ribbon, gain of 3.
That's going to be interesting. If Anderson emerges victorious in this game, who might get the Mercy Health MVP on the Anderson side? I think we know who'd get it if Mount Healthy pulls it out. But
yeah,
several candidates here for Anderson. I think you have to look at Joey Newton first and foremost. Crawford rolls out to his right, lets a pass fly. It's incomplete. Off the fingers of his intended receiver, Jamal Kelly. Came in a little hot, I think.
Just a little bit, a little too much mustard, Glenn.
Clock will stop with 10 ticks remaining in the third quarter, though. Due to the incompletion, it's 3rd and 7. I think if you're Mount Healthy, you've pretty much got to get this converted. You don't want to put the ball back in the Redskins' hands before you need to. 2 receivers to the top. There were 2 to the bottom. 1 goes in motion. Crawford's going to roll to his right. Let it fly. Pass is complete to Kelly at the 50-yard line. So Mount Healthy, mission accomplished in the short term. Able to convert that 3rd down. The ball will be spotted just shy of midfield, so they're still technically in their territory by the nose of the football.
As the Anderson stats guy just gave me, Carlos has 7 catches for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns, Glenn. So he's also in the running for that Mercy Health MVP of the game.
Yeah, good, very good point. Thanks for that. It's going to be a tough battle on Anderson's side if they emerge victorious, for sure. But 12 minutes of football left to be played here. At the end of 3, 34-19. There you take a look at your ICRC-TV replay schedule for our Cincinnati Bell and Spectrum subscribers. And of course, you can find everything on demand at ICRC-TV.com, ICRC-TV.com. Our production staff has been doing a great job of counting down the top 5 high school football games of 2017, and then a bonus throwback Thursday game tossed in, the Swafka All-Star game that you and I called a few weeks ago up at Kings High School. Eagerly awaiting the announcement of the number 1 game. Number 1 game will be revealed tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
Friday, but be sure to visit ICRC-TV.com.
It's been really cool to follow that along on Twitter, Glenn. And Mount Healthy with 18 yards in the 3rd quarter. That's huge for the Anderson defense to hold them for 18 yards. But back to what I was saying, following it along on Twitter, and yeah, we've had the pleasure to call a couple games, and I'm excited to have a couple more, or hopefully a lot of good games this next year, and then going into possibly next year's All-Star game as well.
Yeah, I hope so. We got a great great slate of games on the schedule so far. Obviously, it's subject to change as one team's fortunes may rise, as another may fall, but pretty exciting schedule. Looking forward to being a part of it, and hopefully some other things in the work in terms of a sports show and maybe some other things as the season goes on. Well, that was a complete pass, but the receiver was downed, right, when he put his hand down?
Yep.
So, completed pass, and the Owls go backwards. So
that's not good.
We'll call it 2nd and 13, and there's the flag.
The Eagle formation.
Nope, false start. Well, at one point, our Anderson stats guy told us that Mount Healthy was at 10 penalties. It seems like they're 15 or 17 now. I mean, they just are coming in bunches, it seems like, for this Owls team.
The silly mistakes here, Glenn, near late in the second half as we just started the fourth quarter. You know, they're probably tired, but, you know, no excuses. You can't be having these silly mistakes when you're down by this much now.
Yeah, still a winnable game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice option there. Streaking down the sideline. Great job by Brandon Lanier. A little bit of a different look on that option pitch.
Yeah, he's usually just running up the gut, so I think that might have thrown Anderson's defense off guard, as we're going to see on the replay here. Just Lanier takes the pitch, and he's just got a lot of green and great blocks, and one of the Anderson defenders went low just to stop his momentum, and he did just that.
And again, it's one of those situations where he was going a lot faster in live speed, not at replay speed. Crawford looks right, tucks it, goes to his left. He's met by a group of black and orange jerseys around the 45-yard line. Bodies go flying. It's physical out there, to say the least. Boy, the Anderson
short.
Yeah, Anderson defense hyped right now. Well, not very short for fourth down. It's like 4th and 3, right?
Yeah, you know, it looks a lot longer than it is, so we'll see if they rely on Old Faithful and Brandon Lanier. They try to mix it up again, go through the air, or Crawford takes another pitch. Who knows at this point, Glenn? You know, they got to stop. They got to start pulling out all the stops just to get back in this game, make it a couple possession game, and rack up some points.
Crawford's looking to pass. He's going to tuck it, tries to step away from the pressure. He's running for his life, lets the pass fly. It is complete down to the 30-yard line. You know who? Jamal Kelly steps up big when the Owls need it, and they converted a must-have fourth down if they wanted to stay alive in this football game. So Mount Healthy's opening up the passing game a little bit more here in the second half. Boy, Crawford's making pretty good decisions out there, David, I think. You know, he tucked it, looked like he was going to run, and then he found a receiver and threw a dart. Fumbled exchange. Crawford comes up with it, able to advance the football forward a yard or two.
Late flag comes in.
I think it's a face mask. Sorry, go cut you off.
No, just a late flag came in there, and we're going to see as our head official gets the call from his side judge to see what the call is.
What looked to me after the fumble when Crawford went forward, there was somebody had a hold of the face mask, and there you see the indication. So that may be a first. I normally don't get penalties right. I got that one right.
Yeah, we're going to see on the replay here. Yeah,
see right
whole
there.
Bunch of face mask.
Yeah.
Only a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 5 for the Owls.
Hey, the Owls will take it right now.
I'll take anything they can get.
They'll take an inch. Crawford's going to go back under center. Lanier in the backfield. The same formation we've seen a lot tonight. Anderson showing a little bit of pressure. It's going to be Deontay Hall who's going to end up with the football on the left side. First down and more. He's going to get the ball down inside the 10-yard line. So a nice play call. Deontay Hall gets involved on the action here for the Owls.
Zach Caldwell on the tackle there for the Redskins.
Yep, I think everybody was expecting Crawford or Lanier, and Hall steps up big. So 1st and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. The Owls only have 4 cracks at the end zone. No chance to pick up a first down. They go back to, Crawford's going to keep it. He'll get 5 yards. Ball's loose. Ball's loose. And Anderson signaling they have it. And they do.
Wow.
So Michael Crawford did a great job of sprinting to the right to pick up 6 much-needed yards, but he gives the football up at the end of the play, and Anderson's there to recover.
Guess who? Jimmy O'Neill from that Anderson defense, who's been relentless tonight in all pursuits of the ball. Comes up celebrating as he was an initial part of that, as we're going to see on the replay. O'Neill closing. Does a great job of getting that ball out.
Yeah, we don't have replay in high school football if you're an Owls fan, huh?
Another red flag, right?
Could have been down. I don't know if there was conclusive there, but nonetheless, it's the referee's judgment, and that's what matters. So Anderson with the ball deep in their own territory, but more importantly, they keep Mount Healthy from scoring. And they're going to run the football.
Tick.
Yep, exactly. 8:45, and clock continues to roll with a 15-point lead for the Redskins. Wow, talk about coming up big when it matters for the Redskins. Just a nice strip of the football from Michael Crawford's possession there.
I believe that was Brondhaver, number 15, Connor, who ended up with the ball after O'Neal stripped it from Crawford's possession. As there's a hurt owl, number 47, Lonnie Phelps Jr.
Nah, that's not one you want to see. Understatement of the night, part 2.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a noticeable limp, so hopefully taking him out of the game is an abundance of caution at this point. But don't want to lose that guy. No. Talked about him a lot in our pregame show and during the broadcast tonight. Anderson's going to continue to run the football and chew away at that clock.
Stop by 40, Alex Howard.
And it's Snyder again on the carry for the Redskins.
Gain of 5.
3rd and short. That's what we're going to see on the replay. Just another good run by the Anderson offense. Just chewing yards away. Almost got a jump, but might be a false start.
Yep, they did. Mount Healthy showing pressure. Anderson reacts to it, and they'll back up 5 yards. So when you're that close to your own end zone, that's not what you want to have happen. But good job of forcing them into it by the Owls. Easy for me to say. 7:58 remaining in the contest.
It was Cooper Bushman from Anderson, and after being flagged, he dropped and did about 3 push-ups.
Following the penalty, it's now 3rd and 6.
Oh my gosh. All kinds of confusion on Mount Healthy. One player pushed another down. Ball gets snapped while one defender's flat on his back. Maybe the first time I've ever seen that pre-snap.
The quarterback keeper.
Yeah, definitely something new.
Again, we as I said, we've seen, watch this on the replay here. Confusion by the defenders trying to get out of each other's way, and look like the old trick in high school when you push your buddy and to the guy down on all fours and he goes tumbling over.
He's like, hey, I'm trying to get to my spot, move. So
yeah, well, Anderson ran a play while that was going on. So now Anderson's going to bleed every second off this play clock now. And they're going to let the play clock expire, take a timeout, and then come out and punt the football. Maybe try to see if they couldn't force Mount Healthy into another error.
Yeah, smart decision. I mean, Mount Healthy definitely shot themselves in the foot a couple times tonight on some big momentum things. So, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, Anderson indeed called a timeout. The play clock expired. So both teams are huddled up with their respective coaching staffs. There you see the Owls. There you see the Redskins. Boy, just missed opportunity for the Owls, though, on that last possession that ended with the Crawford fumble. I mean, looked like they had a decent enough head of momentum to score and get this game down to within a one-possession game. And now the task is going to be a little bit tougher as their football is going to be punted away, and the offense will probably take the field with just about 7 minutes remaining in the game. And they've not been working quick tonight. Where they've had success has been the long, methodical drives with Crawford and Lanier shouldering the load for the Owls.
Well, I don't think they're going to punt the ball there. I think they might be going for the home run.
Well, it's 4th and short. Maybe a draw. Nope. Going to hand off to the running back.
That's
He's got his block. Who'd they run behind there? I'll give you one guess. Zeke Correll.
The one person I'd run behind, and I'm 6'5".
Yep. Good play call. So I guess we read that situation wrong. Redskins able to convert that first down, and
that's a dagger.
Yep. Hang on to the football. More importantly, keep it out of the Owls' hands. Nice cutback.
The flag.
Bennett Snyder at left end was brought
this official on the near side, he definitely emphasizes his penalty calls. That thing might have been 30 or 40 yards in the air.
Yeah, he does. The one down here at the other end, on Anderson, as I said, he was pretty adamant about that one. Threw it pretty high in the air. That one's going to go against the Redskins, so they will march backwards. Well, expect to see some sloppiness in the first game out of the chute, and definitely seen our share of penalties tonight. There is no doubt. See Jimmy O'Toole on the sideline.
Big game from him. Yeah. Another candidate for MVP, you know, causing those two big strips. One early in the game and then one just recently.
Trent's going to continue to run the football and chew away at this clock. Now approaching the 6:20 mark. All Mount Healthy thought the ball was loose and began to advance it back toward their end zone, but the play's ruled dead, so possession will stay with the Redskins.
First hit by 24, Javante Montgomery.
Shaw had come up with the football, thinking he might have an opportunity to advance it. Not to be.
Dick, come on, get this play clock rolling. Mount Healthy just adjusts their D-line. That 4-3 setup.
Anderson again runs a football. Gonna have a little bit of luck with it this time.
Yeah, that was Joey Newton in the backfield. Yeah. At this point, I'd pull him off. I'm like, I don't want you getting hurt. But, hey, that's just my opinion.
Well, they want to convert another first down here.
Absolutely. I think that might be the nail in the coffin if they can convert this 3rd and 2.
3rd and a long 2 from our vantage point. Good shot at Newton right there. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top.
There goes Newton around
yeah, give it to Newton again. He will convert the first down and more. Gets the football out to the 35-yard line.
Absolutely. Another big first down.
Yeah, Coach Dwyer giving his opponents something else to think about in the game tape from tonight. Going to have Joey Newton run the football as well as hang out that wide receiver spot and return footballs. To worry about him as a running back as well. He's staying back there.
Yeah, Glenn, you know, as I mentioned, I saw a couple of the Milford football players here watching tonight, Hunter Johnson, Hayden Johnson, and Nate Flannery. A quarterback, a linebacker, and an offensive lineman just here scouting their one of their who they shared the title with last season. As Milford looks to
league opponent.
Milford looks to keep that hot streak going after going 30-something years with nothing doing, and with they hire Coach Grippa in, and he revamped that program. So you know it's going to give Coach Grippa and his boys a lot to think about too.
A lot of surprises in the ECC last year with Milford's resurgence. Emergence of the West Claremont Wolves in their first year of existence. Kings struggling a little bit, as we talked about earlier. Just Wanted Hills, a big wild card, as we talked about with John Snodgrass at halftime. Just lots of questions in a wide open ECC this year. So, wait a minute, now the chains are going to move. So, yeah, it is a first down. Early in the season for the chain gang too. So approaching the 4-minute mark, another first down for the Redskins, and looks like they, barring a miraculous turn of events, are going to be well on their way to victory. There's a nice run and another first down. Gain of about 12 yards on a fantastic run by Anderson.
We're going to see on the replay. I think it's a good job of, you know, just working out that running game right now, you know, bringing in. Now they've got 2 quarterbacks in the backfield. As you've got Thompson and Kuhn back there. Kuhn lining up as a running back.
It was Bennett Snyder on that last run. And that didn't work all that well. Good idea.
Warm up the legs a little bit. But here comes Luke Newton in for number 7.
Alex Howard there to make the stop for the Owls.
I mean, these Mount Healthy guys, I hate to say it, but they're just hanging their head. And I feel like they've just given up, you know, like they're just walking through the motions here for these last 3 minutes as Kuhn takes a lick.
They've spoken too soon on that. I think there's definitely some frustration on the part of the Owls. Don't know if they're quite ready to concede things yet, but I think they can look back to a lot of missed opportunities in this game. Especially via penalty and turnovers, where they had some great opportunities. So 3rd and 11 now. After the trickeration play with 2 quarterbacks didn't work out as designed. 2:40 to go in the game.
Tick.
5 seconds on the play clock.
2-1.
No, I'll let it
Timeout, Anderson. The Redskins' second
get
timeout
close
of
to
the second
expiring
half.
and take another timeout. So 2:29 left to go in this game. It's been a long game period. We had a 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. We're approaching 9:30, so been a long game period, I think. Yeah.
An 8-minute and 52-second drive so far, and they're not done. So I bet this drive will be up 10.
They're not even in the red zone.
No.
Not even close to the red zone. You know, Mount Healthy had that long drive back in the first quarter, just handing off to Lanier and sprinkling a Crawford run. Seen a little bit of everything on this drive, but bleeding the clock more than anything. So Coach Dwyer smells victory and wants to get out of here. This Crosstown Showdown, Skyline Chili, Crosstown Showdown game. Should get the name right for the presenting sponsor. We've been thrilled to bring it to you here on Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV. Be back here tomorrow night for Princeton and Milford, as well as up in Mason. I believe they're playing Springboro.
I believe so, yeah.
Tomorrow night. So Battle of Warren County. It's been an exciting contest up there the last couple years.
And then the Milford Princeton will be good here, and I'll be down in Roger Bacon for the Roger Bacon Reading game.
Pass came in a little high. Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty good game. Get to see the Roger Bacon and Reading, both ICRC schools, but get to see Corey Kiner, the sophomore sensation running back for the Spartans, Coach Mike Blount. And see the revamped Reading Blue Devils after the departure of Rob Page. Take the offensive coordinator position at Turpin. Friend of ICRC, Kent McCulloch, former head coach at Harrison. Well, lots of connections out there in the football world with ICRC right now. Punt. Boy, big booming punt.
Nobody's back there to field it.
No.
Down it.
Yeah, Mount Healthy was bringing them all, trying to get better field position, but as you might have surmised, it didn't work out too well. So Mount Healthy now trails by 15 points. There's 2:10 on the clock, and they're deep in their own territory. Far from ideal circumstances for the Owls.
You know, with Anderson pretty much having this thing in the bag, Glenn, you know, I think they both teams have takeaways that they want to improve on. You know, the running game for Mount Healthy looked great. Anderson looked great, versatilely, passing the ball, running the ball. You know, and there's some just little things, just the little penalties that they got to work on. That'll be probably talked about in their film study either tomorrow or Saturday afternoon as they prepare for week 2 matchups here in OHSAA football action.
Pass is complete. Out to Jamal Kelly. They need to do a little bit more than that, though. Healthy gets back to the line quickly, running their 2-minute drill. But again, bit of a delay getting the play call in from the sideline. Crawford's going to keep it, dumps it off, complete again to Kelly. First down for the Owls. Well, the nice thing about the situation is even though victory looks elusive for the Owls, it's live game reps, more opportunities to work on things that they've uncovered during the game tonight, probably talked about at halftime.
Yeah, Glenn, that's huge. You know, going against your guys so many times, you know, they start to pick up on calls and all of that, obviously. So the live game reps are definitely huge, just to see live action and go against another team and try to read their defenses when you're not reading your own. So, you know, that's one of the disadvantages of week 1 is just, you know, going against a new team finally after going against your guys for so long and, you know, 7-on-7 and maybe one scrimmage. So, but, yeah. Good point there, Glenn.
Crawford looking to pass, rolls to his right, trying to slide away from pressure, and he does. He's going to have to keep it now as he crosses the line of scrimmage, and he finds the sideline at about the 37-yard line.
Got under a minute left.
Jimmy O'Toole a little frustrated there. Thought he might have had a sack opportunity in the bag. You see the Owls on the far sideline here at Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. Renovations have made what was already a good facility very nice. New scoreboard and video board here, new press box, new bleachers. Crawford's pass is going to be complete. His receiver, Deontay Hall, thought about cutting back, but wisely gets out of bounds, so it'll move the chains at least one more time for the Owls. There's 42 seconds remaining. Henderson in front comfortably, easy for me to say, 34-19. Ball just shy of midfield, unhealthy side of the 50. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Lanier in the backfield with Crawford. Crawford's going to roll to his right. He's got Lanier out the block for him. Lets one fly in the middle of the field, and they weren't on the same page.
No.
Looked like Jamal Kelly was expecting it, about 10 yards shy of where the pass landed. The receiver coming from the top of the screen overshot it. So just a little bit of mix-up on communication there by the Owls. Crawford, quick pass, complete to the top of the screen, but stays inbounds. Clock will continue to move. 25 seconds. Clock continues to roll. 3rd and short.
Timeout. Mount Healthy.
Mount Healthy will take a timeout, try to convert this 3rd down. If not, find the end zone here with 19 seconds left to play. So obvious some signs of frustration by the Owls, if you saw during the last few plays there. Not just the confusion continues on offense. Kind of nice. They can show PSAs up on the board now during breaks in play. Not sure the band will like that tomorrow night. And they want to play during the breaks in play.
Right. This might be our first PSA of the night, though, Glenn. I mean, I've seen a couple, obviously for Skyline being a big sponsor of tonight and tomorrow's game, with it being the Crosstown Showdown. But yeah, that's like the first one I've seen tonight, and it looks like to be from Meyer.
That's pretty good quality, that video board for high school field. Right?
Absolutely. Just another point where it's like a small college field, Glenn. I mean, you could put a D2, D3 school here, and it'd be big enough.
Oh, I played at some, or not played, but called games at some D3 fields, and a lot more amenities here than what some of those offer.
Yeah, for sure, Glenn. So we got 19 seconds left.
Yeah, 19 seconds left here for the Owls, trying to convert another 3rd down. Crawford takes a snap, rolls to his right, slides away from the pressure. Pass is complete out to the 35-yard line, so they do convert. You see some happy Redskins fans celebrating what looks to be a Anderson victory here in 21st edition of Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. Clock stopped at 9 seconds. One more play for the Owls. They're going to try to get this one in the end zone.
Last play of the game. Why hold anything back, Glenn?
Right. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Lanier in the backfield. Staying in the block. Here comes the pressure. Crawford slides away from it. He's going to tuck it and keep it. 1st down, and will scamper out of bounds with, should be 2 seconds. But they'll probably leave it at 1. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things, but into the red zone one more time. So one more play for the Owls. Don't commit a penalty.
No. We don't need any of these more on-time downs.
Well, this ought to be a pretty easy play call. Throw it to the end zone.
Yeah, just throw it up.
Crawford back to pass. Lanier picks up a block. There is the pass into the end zone, complete for a touchdown. So Mount Healthy will end the game on a positive note. Deontay Hall, number 11, hauls that one in traffic. So Mount Healthy will at least have that positive to take away from a losing effort tonight. They were in this game a lot tonight.
They were, yeah.
Their own mistake came back to haunt them a little bit. So 000s are showing on the play clock or on the. So that will be the final. Anderson 34, Mount Healthy 25. So a lot of points scored in the game tonight, David, as we expected that we would see. You see the post-game handshake on your screen. Any closing thoughts before we call it a night?
You know, Glenn, it's nice to be back here, back up in the booth for another great football season. If tonight's any indication of how this season's going to go, I think we're going to be in for a fun season, a very competitive season in the SWAC and in the ECC. As you're back here tomorrow night for Milford and Princeton, so a big ECC GMC matchup.
Yeah, I think plenty of room for both of these teams to grow. It's going to be fun to watch how the season progresses for both. For Josh, Dean, Jason, and all of our crew, and my partner David, Glenn Olson, thanks for tuning in to Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV Sports. We'll see you soon.